another banger series from the Scrims S11. This is season 11, week 6, I believe, based on what I saw on the website, and it's going to be a bit of a banger. QC versus Project Tuesday. I think Project Tuesday was on a bit of a hot streak, had a bit of a stumble in their last series, dropped their first game of the series, and QC finally picking up a little bit of momentum for their part, managing to pick up
Yep.
their first win of the season. So pretty excited. Joined here with Guru today. So any thoughts on this
Hey,
series going
everybody.
in?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I think you kind of did a nice little breakdown right there. You've got Project Tuesdays coming off of their first loss of the season. It was a 2-1 defeat to Metabusters. It's a pretty close series, but Metabusters just really stepped it up, and I think it was a nice, impressive win for them. QC, on the other hand, is coming off their first win of the season, their first series win. They really gave it to Albert's Inferno just 2 nights ago. And Albert's Inferno has been looking like one of the better teams. So a really impressive win for QC to get themselves on the board finally. And I don't think we can talk about that without mentioning the fact that Scott Pilgrims was transferred to this team. I don't think trade is the right word because Snarkify got nothing in return. And Scott Pilgrims has just kind of been donated to QC and showed up and had a really nice series. And it's given
Yeah,
them this
for sure.
new lineup they can run where they swapped Zaber down from top to support. And then you have Alec and Ribbons both playing main role. You have Scott Pilgrims on, well, I'm pretty sure top's considered his main role. And then you
Yep.
have Jakar, obviously main role jungle. And so you kind of slot Zaber into support. And it's a really strong team. And I think they're kind of following the Metabusters model now, where you put your lowest point player into that support role, and they're solid, and you get a lot of strength in other positions. And so far, they looked really good against a really good team. But I think PT is going to be another good test for them. PT has looked like one of the better teams this whole season, without a doubt. Even though they are coming off a loss, I still think you got to rate them really highly. And when I look across the matchups here, I think it's largely pretty even. I think I'm a favor Jakar, obviously, and then I'm going to favor the PT bot lane. But when I look at mid and top, I'm seeing a lot of kind of equal strength. So I think we're setting up for a really close series.
Yeah, I'd agree. Some of the champions we really should watch out for from both teams. Alec on the Azir, always going to be very scary to watch out for. I'm really glad that they finally solidified around both Alec and Ribbons being able to play their main roles. I think they're great off-role players. I think they've done pretty good in the games where they were off-rolled, but I feel like these two players have had really solid mid 80 carry performances, so I really like the fact that I feel like this is going to be the roster they solidify around. Not having Rat in the mid lane is a bit of a loss, but I think Alec can easily perform. I do also want to shout out Project Tuesday. I think LSD Dreams of Nivea is going to be something we really got to watch out for. I feel like he's been really good on this
I
character.
expect a ban. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Spiral on the Nocturne as well has looked really good. They've been drafting very well around this Nocturne pick in general, and I feel like
Yep.
them and Rift Sharks have been our two like Nocturne teams that have really solidified around picking the Nocturne early, picking ways to like pair up with the Nocturne in champions like the Galio and champions like the Orianna, and just really abusing
Yes.
the engage potential of this Nocturne. So I'm curious to see what QC's answer into the Nocturne is. Uh, as we get into our key matchup here, it's obviously going to be the top lane. I think both of these players have had really good seasons so far. I mean, I guess Scott has only had one game, but Dave has had a really solid season so far. They've been playing
Yeah.
super well in the top lane, played a lot of range carry top laners, and I'm curious to see how that'll match up into Scott Pilgrim's champion pool, who has played historically more of the tanks, but I feel like he has been one of our stronger top lane players in like terms of
Yeah,
1v1. So
definitely. Definitely. And, we're about a minute away from draft, and Project Tuesdays had a side selection here for game one. They've opted to go for the red side. Do
yep.
you expect them to use that red side counter pick maybe in this key matchup to try to give Dave a favorable spot?
I would imagine so. I feel like Red Side also has a lot of power in these kind of formats where you can try to blow out a top laner or like blow out like a last pick and try to get like a really good counter in both side lanes. I'm kind of surprised though. I feel like this kind of puts pressure on QC or not. Sorry. I feel like this is really good for the side of Project Tuesdays as well because you can put a lot of pressure on QC around this Nocturne pick, around a lot of the first picks that Project Tuesday has. The Yunara also has been a really strong champion for a lot of teams, and I feel like it's been a champion a lot of teams have been willing to blind. So, as we are going to get into draft here, we'll see what bans come out. Obviously, the Anivia first ban, I really like that.
Yeah. No surprise whatsoever there. It's LSD Dream's probably his best champ.
By
Has
far.
looked really threatening on it.
Yeah.
And I think anytime it's just hard to draft around the champion,
Yeah.
especially if the player is so comfortable where they can even play it into bad matchups.
And it is going to be the Gwen ban. I feel like this has been one of Drakar's scariest characters this season. It is going to be the Nocturne man, like I predicted. So
I think that makes sense. It's been Spiral's probably his best champion so far this season, and I think it really kind of denies a larger playstyle too, because LSD Dreams may be less likely to want to play something like the Galio, which he's been really good on, since he can't pair it with the Nocturne anymore. Um, I'm really, I know the key matchup is top, but I think jungle is going to be so important.
yeah,
I think Mind Spiral has been really good for PT this season, really
agreed.
improved from where he was last season. But I mean, I was on his team last season, and I just remember. I mean, he'd admit it. Jakar's a tough matchup.
Yeah,
And now they've targeted what are probably his two best champions. I think they're trying to kind of pick on Spiral here and see if maybe that's the window they can play through. And I'm going to be interested to see what champion does he go for, and is he able to match up with Jakar? You don't have to beat Jakar, but you have to play a certain level to make sure that he's not able to run away with the game.
yeah, and definitely a lot of prio on this jungle matchup as well. We see three
Probably
Drakar
three
champions
jungle
essentially.
bans. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
essentially
guess
three
I guess
Drakar
Gwen's a
champions. So
flex, but
yeah,
I mean and this is like post Zed nerfs, by the way. I don't even
yeah,
think
yeah,
Kane's particularly strong, but it's just how much respect you give to this guy, and
yeah.
it makes sense.
And we have a first pick Silas. That's really interesting. I feel like this could be jungle, this could be mid. Does depend a little bit on how the team comp shapes out for Project Tuesdays, but is a pretty aggressive jungler that can get a lot of prio and has a lot of
Yeah,
gank potential. So
I don't love it as a blind pick, but what it indicates to me is that maybe on 2 and 3 they're wanting to pick champions that Silas would be good against. So
yeah,
it's a flex pick, and you maybe don't allow them to pick it now, but I like the PT answer. And I mean, Pantheon himself is a flex pick.
yeah. I think first picking the Nautilus, or maybe this is like a QC read that the support champion that the Project Tuesday has always gone to has always been like a champion with a really impactful ult. We see it with the Nautilus. Like if you're Silas, you love seeing this Nautilus ult being able to be taken for yourself. You can just sort of drop the big nuke and then like it's guaranteed CC for free. So
Yeah.
definitely a good answer in the Pantheon because I feel like Pantheon can kind of match the Silas early and also is like
Yep.
a pretty strong champion. So I like the jungle
Yep.
match up here. The Nautilus blind is always a good character, but it does give Silas a little more of that agency.
You
So
do get the Jinx, which I like too. I will say with the Silas though, like if you were gonna first pick Silas, did you need to ban a Mumu?
yeah,
I
I
don't know.
agree with
Like,
that.
would they have picked that, or could you maybe have thrown a different ban? Maybe they didn't
Yeah,
have anything else to ban. But either way, I love seeing the Ribbons Jinx come through. A
agreed.
really good champion for her, and then you pair it with something like the Braum, and you're already seeing two champions I think Braum would love to play against. So
Absolutely.
far QC's really happy. PT gonna answer with Smolder, which they have put this top lane before. So if they lock it in, this is could go bot, it could go top, and they have the last pick. So I suspect we'll potentially see some flex here.
Yeah, definitely Smolder is also another secret good ult for Silas as well, though. The amount
Yeah.
of damage it can do and the amount of healing you get from the ultimate feels really good for Silas. So this is definitely a very good, or so far Project Tuesday I feel like has drafted decently, but like not super great
Yeah.
into the Silas in my opinion. So
Yeah, I do think Silas does have three good ultimates right now, and
yeah,
something like stealing Nautilus ult and then being able to threaten the stolen Nautilus ult onto a champion like Smolder could make the Smolder's team fights really difficult to play. So I think they need to round out their comp with champions that have range, that play
yeah,
well into Braum, play well into Silas, but at the same time not giving any more really strong ultimates over.
yeah. As I choose to ban out the set here for top lane, I feel like Dave hasn't really gone to the set all too much, but we'll see what else the answer is. Nasus ban into Scott Pilgrims kind of makes a lot of sense. Um, he did play it last series and did look pretty scary on it, so we'll see where they end up on these last two bans. Probably more top lane bans, I'd imagine, since it's the last power role left. I feel
Yeah,
like,
I would assume so. And so I'm curious, are they going to like take mid on 4 here for LSD Dreams to kind of keep the Smolder flex alive, or are they going to take top lane here to give that mid lane counter pick? And we'll see.
yeah,
I think LSD Dreams is a very good Ari player, and I think you could
yep,
totally get away with blinding something like Ari. Although again, that's a pretty good ult for Silas. But with
yeah,
how good Ari is on the patch as a blind pick, I would kind of enjoy seeing that from LSD Dreams potentially.
yeah. We do also see the Fizz ban. I feel like Drakkar has been one of our best jungle Fizz players. He's only played it one game, but he did make
Him and
that pick look pretty
Foosier,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be an Aurora ban versus LSD Dreams. They have no fear of the Ari. I feel like their read is probably if they pick Ari, Silas just has a field day into this comp. So don't really mind that too much from the side of QC. I feel like Aurora is just like a scary champion for characters like
You
Jinx to
could
try to play
potentially
through.
look at Galio here if you really want to just commit. I don't love that into something like Jinx Braum, but if you want a
Yeah.
blind pick, Syndra
Syndra.
also I think a very good blind pick. Yeah, LSD Dreams has that in his pocket. I think that's a smart pick here.
Yeah.
Now, what was Alec going to go for? I know Alex not played a ton in the server. Like his everybody thinks of the Azir. I'm pretty sure he's also a very good LeBlanc player.
Yeah.
Kind of not the greatest spot, but as far as into Syndra, is kind of a fun counter pick, something I like to go for when people steal my Syndra.
Yeah.
Curious to see if he'll go for that or what else maybe he looks for.
How is the Azir into Syndra matchup?
I, as a Syndra player, don't mind Azir one bit.
Okay.
Maybe other people
Oh.
disagree, but I don't mind it. You think that's Jace jungle with
I
potential
think
Silas
so. I
mid?
think this is Silas mid, Jace jungle, and Malphite top. They did take the Silas away, so they do have the option of picking this Malphite without the threat of the Silas counterpick. So it's pretty good here. I think this should be. I don't see Alex as a Jace player. I feel like Drakkar has been more of our Jace player for this team. Silas is Alex's most played champion, so this should be
Ah,
interesting to watch. Swain
so
pick. Oh
definitely
my
a compliment.
gosh.
Ooh, I do think Swain does go kind of hard here, though.
It's good into the Malphite, but once again, this Silas should be having a field day into this comp. If I'm Silas, I'm like, oh my gosh, what a delicious team comp for me to play into. So,
I do agree with you, and I think a lot of their success will hinge on Alex play in this game.
yeah,
But I do think the jungle versus the mid lane. I think you're a little bit more potential to kind of get put behind in mid lane if you put the
yeah,
Silas mid. If the Syndra player spaces very well and takes aggressive runes, it can be hard for the Silas in the early game,
yeah,
especially if you're having to worry about something like a Pantheon ganking you if you step too far forward.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and I do think, I think potentially, if Swain somehow got accelerated, it could be very difficult for their team. But overall, I think both comps have pretty clear ways to play, and I think I like it when you see drafts like this. I think are fairly even, a lot of comfort on both sides. I think we're setting up for a really close one.
Yeah, I think this should be a really interesting draft to watch play out. Drakkar is going to be on the Jace. I did double check with them just so I could get the assets correct. So this should be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, and I'm really, or go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, I'm really excited to see Dave Swain. I think it's a champion that's actually drawn some bans in like
Yeah,
second phases previously. Like teams have kind of spotted that like that's something he might want to go for. And so yeah, I'm just really excited to see how that plays out. And I do think you are probably looking at him to get a lane advantage against the Malphite, and then how can he transition that? I feel like we're also going to have to watch Spiral's early game on something like the Pantheon. I think his team is going to need him to play a good early game on that champion because you do
yeah.
have quite a bit of scaling in all three of your lanes. Not terrible early game, but a lot of scaling. So if the Pantheon falls behind, I think you could struggle to kind of reach where you want to go. What do you know about as far as the Jace versus Pantheon matchup? How do you expect that to play out?
I think Jace always feels pretty good into Pantheon. Like if he jumps onto you, you can just sort of knock him back with the thing, with the E, and then you can just sort of play ranges a little better than the Jace would want ideally, or like sorry, the Pantheon would want. Like Jace can sort of like answer everything you want to do, and then just poke out your team. So I feel like this is a good matchup for Drakkar. Like my main question mark, I agree with you a lot, is the Silas going mid lane. I feel like if you could, maybe you could in an ideal world, you'd want the Jace jungle, or not the Jace jungle, Jace mid, and then you want the Silas in this jungle role so you can get as much value out of stealing all these powerful ultimates that the side of Project Tuesday has, and just really be able to put a lot of damage onto the map because like I think every single lane that you would want to gank as the Silas would be phenomenal ults to steal, like in 2v2s or like skirmishes of any kind. So that was like my main question mark. I feel like in a perfect world, this is a Silas jungle if everyone could play every champion, but that's not the reality we live in. So as we can
Yeah,
look at some of
and
the champion matchups
I,
here. Go ahead.
we'll see. I do think if PT is going to be successful, none. I don't feel like any of your carries can really fall too far behind in this game.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of pressure on LSD Dreams to position well in these fights. If you miss position against a champion like Malphite,
Yeah.
you can just get blown up. And what's going to make that harder for him this game is the ultimates that can be stolen. Like, yeah, you can position well against a Malphite, but if Silas steals Nautilus ultimate and you get knocked up, yeah, the Malphite can connect it if he wants to.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really big on LSD Dreams and on Yug to be positioning very effectively and kind of behind their front line, because
Yeah,
you
for
are
sure.
going to have a pretty good front line with Nautilus, and depending on what Dave builds, he may go for kind of like a Bruiser Swain where he gets pretty tanky. And if that's the case, you'll have a good front line to play behind, but
Yeah.
it's on those players to position in that way. But I think they're up for the task. I think LSD Dreams has been phenomenal this season, has played really well, as has really all the members of Project Tuesdays. So excited, and also worth mentioning. I mean, these teams are kind of fighting for important standing position right now.
Yeah.
Project Tuesdays wants to get back on the right track. They're playing for that top 4 seed so that you
Yeah.
start in the upper bracket to try to secure that. QC, on the other hand, I mean, they're playing for their life.
Yeah.
They have 3 more games, including this one. They're currently at 1 win. You probably need to win all 3. If you
Yeah.
win all 3, I don't know the math exactly. If you win all 3, I assume you're probably going to sneak in. But if you lose even 1, you've probably kind of put your own destiny out of your hands. So it's very big for QC if they want to make it to playoffs, want to have a chance to repeat their title from last season. You got to continue the wins, and you're going up against a team that a lot of people have rated highly. So
Yeah.
going to be excited to see, can they keep that going, or was last week kind of a flash in the pan for them?
Yeah, definitely they're playing for their tournament lives here. It's going to be a really important series for them. Any time that your tournament life is on the line here, I feel like you want to win all your series from here. But yeah, it's going to be a very important series for them. They're currently we're just waiting on some of the players to get back here, so we might have a little bit more time to kill here from this side. But yeah, it should be a very intense game to watch. I feel like Project Tuesday has looked really consistent, so I wonder if like the last time they played, it was just like a bit of a stumble from them. Uh, Hopefully they can pick it back up because I feel like they've been playing really well. So I'd like to see them continue their strong performance as well.
I'm curious to see, can their bot lane, find advantage.
Yeah,
Something like Smolder is such a scaling champion that where maybe you're not probably going to be able to find huge advantage in like 2v2 this game, but I
for
think
sure.
they have in the past. They've found big advantages. And I think if you're looking at this new age QC lineup, where are you going to attack? It's
Yeah,
got to be bot lane. I mean, I think their top side of the map is such strengths now for the team that if you're
yeah,
looking at where can you generate a significant advantage in the early game, it's probably through bottom lane. So, is PT going to be able to do that? Can QC kind of hold up on their side? And if so, I think they're going to be in prime position to take a game like this game. But we'll see. You do have the favorable matchup, in my opinion, with both the Jinx and the Braum. I think you're fairly happy. I mean, yeah, Smolder Jinx, kind of whatever, kind of a wash. But I think you're definitely very happy to be the Braum
yeah.
into the Nautilus. But I also think that Fatal has been one of the best support players outright in the server so far this season.
Agreed.
And Zabra, on the other hand, this is his second series going into support. So, how's he going to be able to match up there? Is he going to be able to play it out? We envision it if it was 2 kind of equal rank, equal skill players.
Yeah, I definitely think QC did a great job of covering Xavier here. Like, getting the Braum pick into 3 characters that Braum loves playing into. You probably feel really, or 2 characters that Braum feels really good into, the Nautilus and the Pantheon. Definitely did a great job of making sure that he'll be real comfortable in this game. I feel like he looked really good on the Braum last time he played it as well. So,
Yeah.
definitely good stuff from the side of QC.
It is a game, though, where, in my opinion, your frontliners for QC are going to have to play well. Because,
Yeah.
you have some poke with a champion like Jace, and even
Uh,
Jinx can kind of poke from some range with those long-range auto attacks. However, if your frontliners like Malphite or Braum, step too far forward before you're ready to actually take that all-in fight, you can fall victim to things like a Swain pull or a Scatter the Weak,
yeah.
or a Dredgeline hook. And if you miss position a little bit, you get caught on those champions. I think that's how PT could start a really favorable fight. So I think there's just so many different CC abilities for both teams to worry about. The positioning for all players in this game is going to be so critical.
Yeah, for sure. definitely going to be very curious to see how Scott executes on the Malphite. I feel like we haven't really seen his Malphite before. I don't think the champion's crazy hard. It's Malphite, but still very interested to see how he plans on
No, it's not.
execution.
I don't think it's a crazy hard champion or anything, but I do think there's levels to it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, for sure.
Malphite players that are going to show up and they're going to press R in a team fight, and then there's Malphite players that are going to win games with their ultimates.
Yeah, for sure.
Both are going to be useful,
Uh,
but there is levels to it on knowing when to ult, who to target, um, how to find that right engage. Because when the Malphite goes in, your whole team's going in.
yeah,
So
for sure.
if you go in at the wrong time, you can really screw your team up. And sometimes Malphite players, I think, can kind of tunnel vision a carry or something like that and go too
Yeah,
deep, and then the rest of your team can't follow up, and then you end up in an unfavorable fight position. So we are going to see how Scott pilots it. I'll be curious to see too. Does he go for full tank? Does he go for a little bit of damage? Does he go for
yeah,
something just like malignance into tank, full tank? You have a lot of options there.
yeah, definitely. Especially with the way they changed Zeke's convergence to also give you ult haste. I feel like that item has a lot of value on Malphite nowadays. So very curious to see where he chooses to pivot his build. But yeah, as we're slowly loading into game here, give me one sec. I need to go get some water.
Yeah, I do expect that we will see some priority for the side of Project Tuesday's lanes, especially on the top side of the map. I'll be excited to see, how does Spiral use that priority if it does appear as I'm kind of expecting to get advantage, whether in the 1v1 secure crabs, or to potentially find some creative early invade, or potentially some kind of creative gank. Obviously, Pantheon as a champion is such a good early gank, just in the sense you have point click CC. And who are you playing with? All of your lanes have really good CC. I mean, a point click Pantheon into a guaranteed scatter of the week, a guaranteed Swain pool, a guaranteed dredge line could be all it takes to look for something like a really early first blood. So really going to be track and spiral this game. If you can
Yep.
snowball any of your lanes on PT, I think you'd be super super happy. But I do think also it's worth mentioning. Pantheon's been nerfed in jungle. Jace has even been nerfed in jungle. Don't know what those clear speeds are like as much as they were back when those champions were super prevalent. So we'll see. How does that play a factor?
Yeah, definitely. I think eyes on Spiral this game. He is probably the one champion in both drafts that has like the most agency. I feel like Pantheon is a really good early ganking jungler. Like you press W, typically most of the time it results in a kill. If you go bot lane with like the Nautilus setup, I feel like you'll be in a really good spot. Syndra, Scatter the Week, and Swain Pull, like all of these tools are really good for you as a character. So I'm really curious to see if Spiral can really get ahead via ganking. Jace tends to be like a little more of a clear character. Like you kind of want to just farm your camps and try to get a really nice, try to have early setup on the objective so you can get those really free shock blasts early on in the fight. Try to chunk out the enemy team. So it's really going to be really important for QC to try to have early setup on objectives with a champion like Jace. You want to be first to most plays. You want to set up early vision on objectives so you can sit there and shock blast for free into the side of Project Tuesday, and then maybe try to follow it up and finish off the fight with Malphite ult. So definitely gonna be really important to watch. They have a lot of peel tools as well. Champions like Braum, like the Jace E push people back feels pretty good. Just making sure that champions like the Pantheon have a minimal amount of impact in the game as possible. So gonna be really important for the side of QC.
Yep.
So we still have like about a minute or so before the game loads in. Should be pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what kind of setup LSD Dreams chooses to go for on the Syndra. So many different players in the server play it, and kind of similarly, but all a little different. I mean, you even saw someone like Giraffe take Ignite on the Syndra the other week and use that really aggressively to get advantage into Sandy. You've seen players take Ghost. You've seen players take TP. You've seen players go for Arcane Comet, Scorch, really aggressive rune like lane phase. You've seen players go for phase rush to kite out. You've seen players go for scaling with first strike. So I'm excited to see, what does LSD Dreams want to do here. I would expect to kind of see some early game aggressive runes to try to really dominate the Silas matchup, especially because you should have something like a Pantheon to play around in that early game. But those questions will be answered.
Here in a second. Yeah, definitely I would expect a little more aggression from the mid lane matchup just because I don't think Salas is really able to threaten you unless you seriously misposition and he gets a really nice chain combo onto you. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see how
Silas is
that
one of those
goes.
champions to me where it's like if the opponent makes a mistake, that champion just has the tools to outplay you. Um,
Yeah,
but against really good laners, you do have a weak early lane.
yeah,
But as kind of I was talking about, LST Dreams does look to be going more for that scaling. Did take the first strike, did take the teleport. Um,
yeah,
so Silas isn't going to face quite the same amount of punishment that he potentially could have. Alec obviously has TP himself. We're seeing TP top lane for Scott. Um, Dave is with the Ghost. I think something like Ghost is really big for a champion like Swain. Can really
yeah.
allow you to take over in team fights, stick on to characters like Jinx you might otherwise not be able to stick on to. Um, but everything else not too surprising here, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the logic behind the first strike is if you proc it a lot early as Syndra, you can sort of just abuse the Silas and also scale for free. I feel like that
I mean,
logic
I'm a
kind of
first
tracks.
strike believer, to be honest. Like, I
Gotcha.
like first strike a lot on Syndra.
Makes a lot of sense.
I've been experimenting more with the early game aggressive runes, but I do think if you can get away with it, the scaling is pretty nice. But I feel like for Alec here, especially because I've been informed by the chat that Silas is his most played champion, I expect him to be pretty comfortable in this matchup.
Yeah,
Um, and we'll see how he does.
yeah,
Curious to
definitely
see what
really.
build he goes for too. If he goes for kind of the Bruiser Silas, I think we're seeing more of. I expect that when you go something like Conqueror.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, first strike for the Jace as well probably indicates more of like a lethality setup, just trying to do as much damage as possible on first contact, and then try to sit there and shock blast people. I'd
yeah,
love to
I've
downrange.
seen Jakar on this Jace really likes as a second item. Oh, it's like the new item this season, the one that you do extra damage like turrets or objectives after. I'm forgetting the name, but really seems to like kind of that lethality first two
Yeah, let
item
me look it
spike.
up.
And I mean, I think the nice thing with Jace Jungle too is you don't need a tier item necessarily.
Yeah,
So it lets you rush just like the early raw damage of extra lethality, and really allows him to start pumping a ton of damage pretty early.
surely my game will not. Surely we will be able to get in the game here. Surely.
Shout
Oh,
out Dave
Bastion
with the
Breaker.
Masters border as
True.
well. Hit Masters this season on top lane. I do believe climbing that up. So I believe Scott has hit Masters before. If I'm
I
wrong,
think
then
so.
I think I'm complimenting him, not holding him back. So I do believe we're getting two really good top players going up against each other.
As we have loaded in here.
Gonna be fun. And we're in.
Thank God. Had to reload a
Curious to
little
see
bit,
if
but
junglers choose to path towards each other, opposite directions.
yeah.
What we'll be looking for here.
Definitely important to see where the junglers wants to path for.
Jakar is potentially playing for an early ward here, maybe.
Could also go for like a cheeky first strike play if LC Dreams chooses to step out of the bush. So
Is just going to ward to protect his own jungle before heading to that. Yeah, both junglers kind of warding their opposite side, and then are starting on opposite sides here. So
definitely really important to watch as could be an aggressive play.
yeah,
The hook comes out from the Nautilus and gets a nice trade down. They were taking a little bit of HP, but Jinx getting some autos down as well. Definitely a favorable trade for the side of Project Tuesday though so far.
yeah, I really like ribbons on a few of these champions. Things like the Jinx, the Aphelios, the Ashe. I think they are just so strong on those. Having even laned with them in the signups, I think
Yeah.
Ribbon's actually a pretty strong laner, and I do think that has been one of Yug's strengths. So I'm excited to see how do they match up together here.
Yeah. With hook here, but definitely still okay for the side of QC. But pot burn from Zaber, just getting him back to full HP. One pot down for the side of QC, but definitely still good spot for Project Tuesday as well. Alec going for a pretty aggressive trade here, burning out LSC Dreams' plot as well.
Yeah, I mean, you see it hits the if you hit the E chain, you can trade. One thing I like to watch Silas players is how well can they farm. I think
Yeah,
it's actually not the easiest champion to consistently get really high CS numbers on,
yeah, for
especially if you
sure.
don't max Q. So I always like to kind of watch that because I do think as a Syndra, you should be farming exceptionally well most of the time.
Yeah, especially into a champion like Silas who does have a bit of a range discrepancy in this lane, so should be pretty easy for them to get a lot of HP. Uh, Davis playing this lane pretty aggressively, almost has first play down. Is pushing quite a bit though, so it could be an angle for a gank. Alec looking for a pretty aggressive trade here though. Doesn't really get much else other than the health. Dave went for a pretty
Yeah.
aggressive laning setup as well with the summon Airy, just making sure that we can poke down the Malphite with a lot of damage. Ooh, Alec
Ooh,
getting a nice
really
trade.
good trading.
As Hook comes out from the Nautilus, but
Hey, let's watch where Spiral goes here. Alec actually warded the top side. You'll see that ward. So has no vision to spot Spiral out here if Spiral does walk towards mid.
yeah,
Just
I
gonna
mean,
go for the crab first.
yeah, both junglers just
Jace
opted for the.
wrapping behind potentially Dave here.
Could be a really nice angle. Dave also has no mana, no vision as well, so definitely a very aggressive angle from him.
May be able to
Jace is
get
here,
out.
flash the shock blast, goes for the hammer form, does get the auto off, but does burn Dave's ghost and flash. So good game from the side of Drakkar, trying to get as much proactive play down as possible. So
Definitely.
I mean, this is already going to be a pretty hard lane for Scott as well. So making sure that he can play the game a little bit is pretty good for the side of QC.
And I think this is where you're potentially seeing a little bit of the issue with going the scaling runes on the Syndra. I think some of those early trades that were kind of back and forth would have been way more Syndra favored if he did have the early game aggressive
Yeah,
setup. So instead, I think Alec is just really playing this lane well so far.
yeah. Definitely using the aggressive potential of a champion like Silas pretty well. Uh, Drakkar also getting a really nice base off for himself. Having started Dirk on first base as a lethality jungler always feels pretty good.
Is Spiral on a ward right now? I'm not 100% sure.
Oh
I
yeah, he
might have been,
is.
but
He
yeah.
is
So
right
it's a
now.
really nice ward from that wraparound gank,
Yeah,
warding the Krugs there. Just super high level vision play by Drakkar, and now you spot out where the Pantheon is, and it allows their bot lane, as you can see, to play so aggressively. Um, no, everyone knows there's no threat of Pantheon. Maybe can help shove this lane in, but
might go for
kind
a
of
dive. There's no way that dive is legal.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
chooses not to
doing it.
go.
That's just a great ward. Really spots out Spiral's going to take a base here, but as of right now, Pantheon not even been able to find a W yet
Yeah,
on anyone.
critically, Dave did manage to pick up a plate though, so a little bit of gold coming back for the side of Project Tuesday. Gold is pretty even right now, but getting early plates as the Swain in this matchup in particular definitely feels pretty good. So
Yeah, I would really like to see Pantheon look for a gank around mid potentially. I mean, I do
wait,
think
oh
Alec
my
is
gosh, the
positioned pretty
flash
far.
shock
Oh
blast.
wow,
Well played from the side of
great
QC.
play.
Just really playing out of vision from Drakkar and just choosing to flash shock blast as the Malphite is coming out. Really well played from QC, managing to pick up first blood and pick up a plate for the Malphite as well. So huge comeback for the side of QC here.
And that's what you love to see out of your jungler. The initial play to burn the flash and the ghost was super high level, but if you don't go back, it doesn't actually result in very much. But finds the follow up gank, gets the kill, really big to get that kill. It is going to result in Dragon being traded, but as far as Jakar is concerned, I think you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is a little illegal for the Smolder lane to get dragons this early, but definitely a good response play from the side of Project Tuesday. If you can get like Dragon Soul plus on Smolder, like I feel like you're in a really good spot. But definitely a really good proactive play from Jakar and Scott to get first blood. So. And he also gets a Raptor steal here, so Spiral is definitely going to be a bit behind in terms of the individual matchup, but
for Spiral here, I think we really just need to track where does that first ultimate go. To me,
Absolutely.
Pantheon's kind of like a Nocturne type champ, where it's just like your first ultimate can be so powerful that you need it to be a good one,
Yeah,
especially when you've kind of been just power farming to that ultimate. So I think we really need to track where does he choose to use it, and does it get value.
absolutely. Gonna be super important to watch where this Silas ulti goes, or not Silas, this Pantheon ult goes. It's a very strong ultimate, so we'll see where it goes. I mean, Dave is still trading pretty well, even though he got killed. Ulti comes out from LSD Dreams, doesn't manage to pick him up, but getting a nice chunk down onto Alex. Has the
Yeah,
Magic Mantle, no Magic Mantle as well, so it might be an early Merc Treads game for him. There is like two AP champions on the side
Merc
of
Treads are super good into Syndra.
Product
So
Tuesday,
many
so
champions. It's like as soon as you complete the Merc Treads, the matchup versus Syndra can get a lot easier.
yeah,
So not surprised to see him rush that. Has fallen behind in CS a little bit, which I mean I think is expected in this matchup. Was farming really well at first. LSD Dreams has opened a decent little CS lead now though.
absolutely. Definitely a very hard matchup to stay super farmed up on. Uh, Yeah, definitely super important to watch
Um,
where Drakkar chooses to put this next gank in. Does have a pretty nice angle onto the Swain here if they choose to go for it. Ulti comes out from the Nautilus, does get a pretty nice chunk onto Alf, but good block from Zaber. Good ulti from Pantheon though. This should be first blood or another kill going over to the side of Project Tuesday, and nice ultimate from Spiral, really securing themselves a little lead here.
yeah, exactly what we're talking about. Where's that first ultimate going to go? Use it bot lane. You get both flashes out. You pick up a kill. Unfortunately, it does go to Nautilus, but at the end of the day, you do get kills. You do get flashes. Definitely a gank you can easily return to. Try to find a second gank.
Yeah,
Oh,
good ulti or good combo coming out from
good,
Alec.
good buffer there by Alec. Yeah, but overall, good first play by Spiral. It is going to
Yeah.
be answered by. It looks like all three grubs going over to the side of QC.
Yeah, definitely a good spot for them to get grubs as a little bit of a return kill. I am going to say, oh wait, scatter comes out, the stun comes out from the Pantheon, and ulti comes out from the side of Project Tuesday, and nice kill from the Syndra here. Good gank from Spiral, just knowing that Mac can't be in the area as early as possible, and does manage to get a really nice kill onto the Silas here.
Yeah, that's I thought Alec had been playing the lane really well. That is an unfortunate death, and the kill does go over to Syndra. Spiral with a little quiet early game, but the last minute and a half has been super good. Getting kills for both of his lanes.
Yeah.
Exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, and Spiral has just been utilizing the early pressure from this Pantheon so well. Like, you have so much power in just being able to show up to lane, press W, and the laner has to be able to react perfectly, otherwise you're just dead. And him pairing with LSD Dreams, the shove into the stun combo, just a free kill for them. As another hook coming out. This could be another gank for Spiral here. Does have the ulti bit from Scott Pilgrims. Doesn't look like they're going to go for it. Does manage to
Yeah,
live
but the
out, so
wave is pushing into Dave here, and we'll see if he chooses to kind of hold it, force Scott to have to TP right back. I mean, that is still a win for Project Tuesdays.
yeah, and we'll see if the Cinder is able to continue accelerating their lead here. It does have the Luden's finish, so it's so much
Yeah,
stronger than the
yeah.
Silas here.
LSTG is kind of going for the build that I most enjoy, I assume, which is going to be just like raw damage Syndra. You take
Yep.
the first strike, you go Ludens into like Shadow Flame, and if that's what he chooses to do, it is a ton of damage. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Stun comes out from the Cinder. Does manage to get a nice E from the Silas. Gets a pretty good trade, dropping all three autos, but definitely a bit of a rough position here. Pantheon is just clearing down, but Mac is potentially looking for a gank here as well. Pantheon does almost have the ultimate, so it could be a play bot lane as well. Looking for the mid
Yeah.
play. Could be good. Is spotted on vision, so does manage to get a nice shock blast though. Does a decent amount of damage. I mean, bot lane is kind of pushing out here though, so I wouldn't be surprised if Spiral chooses to look bot lane here. Does still have the ulti, so they could try to contest this dragon for the side of Project Tuesday.
Yeah, we may be setting up for a team fight right here.
Ooh, nice little
No
forward
flash, no flash on the bot lane here for QC. They got to be careful with their positioning. Although Malphite's TPing behind here is going to have ultimate.
Oh, TPs from both solo laners for the side of QC. Fatal should be going down. Flash doesn't go over the wall, and
Ooh!
nice ulti from the side of Saber to cancel them. Scott missed the ulti on anyone critically, so should only be one kill for the side of uh, QC, but getting a nice little dragon for themselves.
Yeah, and you do pick up that kill under Ribbons as well, which is really nice for her. And yeah, you kind of just have to give at that point. Like if Scott's gonna look for that TP down, I think it makes sense for Dave to just shove. You already got the first drag, so you just go 1-to-1 on drags now. But
Yeah, Dave, I
decent play
think,
by
got another
QC.
play as well, so the swing
Yeah,
should be really, really strong in these potential
yeah,
team
just
fights coming
yeah.
up.
Bot
So,
Rod of Ages here has that on the Swain now. Is going hard scaling with that item.
yeah, pushing up
Oh,
here though. Gets a
lucky that
pretty
hook
nice
didn't
hit.
hit. That might have been a kill.
Yeah,
Jace potentially here for a wraparound though. Don't know if he'll look for it.
definitely a decent angle from him if he manages to connect the shock blast, but chooses not to go for it here. I imagine his bot lane just wants to base. Yeah, yeah, they're just gonna back off here.
Yeah. LSD Dreams has also completed the Mercury treads.
Yep.
Um, Wants that little bit of extra magic resistance against, the Silas, even Malphite. I will say, if you're gonna go for just like the raw Ludens, I'd prefer just
Go
commit to
Zorks.
it and build Sorks too. Like if
I see
that's the
that.
playstyle you want to go, just be a glass cannon. Um, but
Yeah,
wants that little bit of extra survivability.
fair enough. We'll see where Spiral chooses to place his next ultimate. I feel like that's the most of what we're looking for this game right now is where can Spiral get as much value out of his ultimate as possible. So
Yeah, we haven't seen that second one yet. And if they were tracking summoners, they'll know that flashes are back up for the QC bot lane now. Um, Only flash down for QC is Alex, but gonna be a hard ultimate onto him. So, and it's about to be back up anyway.
and a nice little CS lead for the Syndra coming up. You see so much like 18 CS lead, pretty good for the Syndra. I think you're also like favored in terms of scaling versus the Silas as well. So definitely a really comfortable position for the Silas. Shock Blast whiffs, and fortunately that means no play on to Dave. And you also give away your position. Spiral could look for a play ball lane as well, but is spotted out on the vision, so QC ball lane knows not to play too aggressive here. So I'm looking for another play here, but the completed Merc Treads plus the upgrade means
I think he's trying to bait for
damage just
Spiral
early
here. Spiral
does.
maybe looking for an ultimate, or
Just
he was just sitting in the river.
Yeah, LC Dreams did have to burn the flash. A pretty good position for the side of QC, managing to get a
Yeah,
free.
LS2 Dream's positioned very aggressively there. Ends up having
Yeah.
to blow his flash, and now is super vulnerable to something like a Malphite roam
Oh,
down,
the Jace
or just a
regang?
regang from Jakar here.
Ulti comes out from the side of probably Tuesday ball lane, but I feel like this Jinx has been so untouched in this backline. Fatal is dropping pretty low here.
And
Damage coming
Spiral's just
out.
on the Krugs. He's not
Oh
he's
my
not fighting with
gosh.
them.
And a nice combo from the side of QC. Spiral does manage to pick up one here. Should be able to pick up both of them, but two for two. Two kills onto the Jinx. I feel like that's really what you want to see from the side of uh, QC here. Two kills onto the Jinx, who wants to be accelerated. So they were buying so much time. Does get picked up by the Pantheon Spear. So pretty even trade across
Yeah.
the board. But I feel like if you're QC, you're definitely a little happier with how the trade ended
I
up.
mean, yeah.
So,
Jinx got 2 kills. Like Jinx is 3-1 now. I think you're okay. And Jinx didn't use any sums either. Like
yeah,
I think overall you're pretty happy if you're QC. Oh, and we have Scott Pilgrim's wrapping behind. We called out
yeah.
Syndra no flash.
Does hesitate and
Ooh,
doesn't
so
manage to pick it
far.
up, so that was a little too far. Does not manage to get the ulti off, so is going to have to do the walk of shame back in the top lane. Could go for like a Herald play potentially, but yeah,
Yeah, and I think just bot lane there, they just Spiral was on the Krugs when they initiated that fight. So like by the time his ultimate arrived, he does get two, but both players were dead. Not sure if that was miscommunication or if they just didn't think they needed him, but overall, pretty even game here. A 1K gold lead for PT at 16 minutes.
yeah, definitely. I would like to see Spiral cancel the Krug take and just go straight for the bot play, but I also get it. I would also greed my ass for a couple golems. Looks like he is sitting in this bot lane bush though. I don't know if he's able to get too much. Alpha's stepping up.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to bait Elf or Ribbons because they're showing Nautilus not in the lane, but Ribbons still choosing not to walk too far forward. The
Could still
Spiral's
be an
sitting here for
ankle here
so
though.
long.
Oh no,
Yeah,
but the angle is here. He's gonna go for it. The stun comes out from the Pantheon. The ulti comes out
great
from the
peel.
Nautilus, but a great peel from Saber, and they're just not able to connect. The Q comes out. They might be overcommitting here. The TP is coming out. They do manage to pick up one here from for Yug, and this is a really good play for the side of PT so far. Scott Pilgrim is here. Yug's playing pretty safe, and the double TP coming out for the side of Project Tuesday. Drakari is going to show up here, but I don't know if he's able to do enough.
Oh, they're
Malphite ult comes out,
climbing.
does manage to connect onto Yug, and so much damage is dropping. The Swain ulti is being
Watch
dropped here.
Silas.
But the silence ulti is also coming out. Oh my lord, so much damage coming out, and uh, the fight is so chaotic. Alec is living for
Oh,
so long, but the Syndra does manage to pick it up, and this is just going to be a fight one for the side of Project Tuesday. Double TP being burned, and looks like they are just going to come out on top here. Well played to the side of Project Tuesday. I feel like the Swain ulti from Dave just managed to get so much value, and Silas is just not as strong as his enemy laner, so
no. Yeah, and I mean, I just think the fact that the bot lane was dead by the time by the
yeah,
reinforcements got there, it was just not that close of a fight.
yeah.
And if you're
Unfortunately,
PT now, you're very happy with how that went.
yeah.
And I mean, the camp bot lane just paid off. I mean, Spiral sat in that bush for so long, but it paid off, so it's all
Yeah,
worth it. And he's sitting at 4-0 and 4 right now, has 100% kill participation on the Pantheon. I don't think you could have asked for a better start to this game for him. And we
yeah,
pointed at him as a player that needs to step up when you're going up against such a talent like Jakar.
yeah. Definitely a really, really nice gank from the side of Spiral. Really smart bush play. Just sitting there waiting for Ravens to make a single misstep, and definitely really good job punishing from the side of Project Tuesday. The TP's being burned as the bot lane is dying. It's a little unfortunate from QC as well. Just not able to clutch out the rest of the fight. So, because most of your gold is on the ADC in Jinx, so
Uh-oh, might just be dead here. It's a
oh
little bit of a
my
misposition,
gosh.
and yeah, just oh.
Definitely a rough spot to be for the side of Jinx. Good ulti from the side of Fatal just being picked, getting a nice pick for themselves. And Project Tuesday looking to snowball this game. Smolder having a pretty nice game for themselves. I'll double check the stacks real quick, but it's already at 152. It's a little rough stacks wise, but definitely utilizing the pressure that the Nautilus has to.
Yeah, very comfortable with where the game is at right now. If you are Project Tuesday, because I do
Yep.
think you have a lot of scaling on your side. You've already generated a really nice advantage pre 20
Ooh,
minutes,
ulti
and
comes
Scott
out.
may just yeah. I mean,
Uh,
yeah.
nice trade of ultimates here for the side of Project Tuesday. I think you're okay with getting Pantheon ult for Malphite ult. Just able to pick up this Rift Herald, try to accelerate their gold lead even more. So
Well, okay, we'll watch bot lane here. Jakar's looking for the cross map play. I don't know if they're actually going to be able to punish LFC Dream, so I think he spots Jakar on vision here and is going to be able to just back out safely.
yeah, did go for the Edge of Night here for the side of the Jace, but not really much you can do here. Does manage to pick up the Rift Herald for the side of Project Tuesday, so this is a really rough spot for QC to be in. 5k gold lead for the side of Project Tuesday, and it's mostly off the back of Spiral. I feel like having a really nice Pantheon game. Like you said, he has to step up and play to a player like Drakar's level, and I feel like he's really showing it here on the Pantheon. Critically, he doesn't have 100% KP though, so it's over. GG. You've lost Project Tuesday. It's over. Could be another
Jace
play.
looking for another attempt here. They really want to find this shutdown. May
Ooh,
have it
does get
here.
the stun. Oh, flashes the shock blast, and he's gonna get away with it once again. And I feel like if you're Project Tuesday, you're so happy that the Jace is just trying to spend so much time sitting bot lane. So
I'm a little surprised Jakar didn't just full commit for that shutdown.
yeah,
I
I
mean, with the
would.
Scatter of the Week already gone, you might trade yourself, but you're getting the shutdown there for sure if you
Yeah,
went in.
I agree. I feel like it's a little hard to do, but I also understand the thought process behind it. So
Jinx is getting very close to the Infinity Edge, should have that on next base, which will be a nice power spike for her. We'll see if
Yeah,
that kind of changes their team fight outlook. Smolder with an interesting build choice. I haven't seen a Smolder go for, I'm forgetting the name, but
endless
the Endless
hunger.
Hunger. I've not seen that out of Smolder, especially as like a second item. I don't know what to think about that.
I don't either, but I feel like it kind of makes sense. It gives you haste. Your champion that really likes are it's sort of like Bloodthirster on 80 carries. I can kind of see it being not super great second item, but it seems pretty good in general for uh, Smolder in general. Uh, gonna be super interesting to watch where Project Tuesday wants to put this Herald. Critically, QC also has not picked up a single tower, so they have a lot more damage, or sorry, a lot more gold in their pockets, but QC has a lot of standing gold still up if they can manage to siege down some of these towers. So, gonna be really important to see where they manage to pick up some of their gold back in their
Yeah,
side
so
lane
we
towers. So,
yeah, Dragon coming up here in 40 seconds. We'll see if QC wants to contest this. Jakar is pathing that direction, but Xavier may just be caught trying to get vision by himself.
yeah, good collapse from LSC Dreams. Let's get the nice scatter of the week, and this should be a nice free kill for the side of Project Tuesday. And
And
no,
yeah, that's just miscommunication. I mean, your support cannot be grabbing vision this close to the objective without people with him, and just kind
yeah,
of went by himself, got found out, and I assume you just aren't going to contest now.
yeah. I mean, also
Jakar may
getting
be in
the
trouble though.
yeah, does manage to get a nice little combo for himself. So does manage to get
Trying to
out,
get out.
but critically, these mountain drakes are going to be so important for the side of Project Tuesday. Like having those extra resistances into the poke feels pretty good, and even the all-in potential of this team comp. So definitely going to be nice if they can secure these dragons.
Certainly.
It's gonna be so hard for them to get into this fight as well. Looks for the play onto LSD Dreams here. Good combo from Alec, but just not enough they can do, and they're just gonna do a little window shopping, try to get this dragon. But good smite from Spiral does manage to secure it for themselves, and Dave should be able to get top lane tower here, and having that full top lane tower gold into this win probably feels really good. Silas with the ulti does manage to go in. Looks for the ulti onto LSD Dreams here, though, but the Blast Cone should be able to get him out. Drakar flashing over the wall, gets a
Shutdown.
nice 780 gold for himself. They're looking for more, but I feel like it's just going to be the one kill for the side of QC. Big shutdown onto
Yeah.
the Jace, though.
Yeah, it is a very nice shutdown. I don't know if they'll be able to get too much more off of it though.
Yeah. Should be able to get mid tower here
Maybe
at
maybe
least.
can get the mid tower here.
Huge shock blast. Oh my gosh, that was half health. Yeah, gets a lot
Smolder
of gold.
choosing. Yeah, I don't know. Smolder maybe could have cleared the way with ultimate. Is just going to let him get that turret. So you get the shutdown and you get a mid turret. Not the worst for QC here. Kind of keeping this gold lead. Kind of it's maintaining it almost 4K.
Yeah.
If you can get that third item on Jinx, maybe that's when Ribbons could really take over a fight. Jakar is getting strong, is scary on this Jace.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Not
Alec
out of it by any
is
means yet.
yeah. Alec is also putting a lot of damage onto the spot lane tower as well. That little extra gold for himself could be the difference maker in these fights. As Scott did rush the Canic Rooker into the Swain, which makes a lot of sense. Just getting so much extra resistances and the magic shield probably feels pretty good. So
Yeah, has the Oblivion Orb as well to try to cut out some of that healing from Swain. And Ribbons looking to go for some armor pin here, as opposed to something like a Runaan's Hurricane third item.
yeah,
So just trying to get that armor pin. Wants to be able to shred the front line.
I'll do a Smolder stack check real quick. Almost has the 225, so another timer for QC that they have to play around. So it'll be a little rough once the Smolder hits 225. So
Oh, Jakar may be in trouble here. Nice job
yeah,
connecting the Swain CC.
yeah. Spiral does burn the flash, so does manage to get that out of Spiral, but Drakar getting super chunked right before Baron as well. This could be really bad. Spiral might be out of position though. Ulti comes out from the Malphite. Smite comes out from Drakar. Does manage to get himself a nice little bit of HP. The E comes out from the Sway or from
Oh,
the
Dave's in
Pantheon,
there!
buying so much time. But Jinx gets a nice kill onto the side of the Pantheon. Dave gets a nice kill onto the Jace so far, and it's just up to Elf see if they can do enough damage here. But doesn't look like they'll be able to. Really good ulti from Dave, just being able to buy so much time on the backline. So.
Yeah, I mean, really, to me, what stood out there, Spiral's
Oh,
probably mispositioned, but the invulnerability that Pantheon provides allowed him to live so long.
ulti comes out from the Nautilus. Hook comes out. Critically, the Silas does have the Swain ulti, so
Yeah, I don't think they want to opt into a 3-on-4 though, even with something like Swainult being down for Dave.
yeah. And definitely still really comfortable for the side of Project Tuesday. Now you have your Smolder online, and you're just free to go, though. Jinx LDR. Jinx does have potentially an LDR here on base. We'll see what item they choose to go for, so.
Yeah, and Smolder getting that Hex Tech long range whatever item as well. We have a
Hex
really
Optics
really fun build here for the
C44.
Smolder.
Yeah. Definitely has a lot of agency here in this game as the Smolder. It does have the execute online as well, so I feel like if you're Project Tuesday, you feel really, really good where you are in this game. LC Dreams could be caught out here. Jakar does get the smite, does manage to get the
Hits it.
damage down, but the Swaddle is going to be burned. TP coming out from the side of Project Tuesday. Swainult is going to go down for the side of Alec here, and Drakkar might be going down as well. Huge damage coming out from the side of Project Tuesday, and you managed to get one. Dave did have to burn the Swainult, but getting a really nice pick.
I mean, Dave has just been really good with I feel like where he's chosen to put his power. Like
Yep.
has shown up when he's needed to, and just a nice punish there. And I mean, if you're QC, you're at the point now where you kind of have to look for those plays because I don't think a straight
Yeah.
up 5v5 is going to be favorable for you. But if PT's like supporting each other like that, it's going to be hard to actually find those picks.
Yeah, definitely a really rough spot for the side of QC here.
Syndra with Death Cap now as well. I mean, this is the 3-item spike on Syndra. If you go this just raw damage build, where I mean, there's no one that can like tank the combo. I mean,
Yeah.
Malphite can, I guess, but anyone else is probably just dead outright.
Yeah, ulti coming out from the Silas here. Does manage to pick up the Nautilus ulti. So it has a really nice reach around. No vision either. Oh, the hook comes out onto Jinx here, and this could be disastrous for the side of QC. But he has no ulti, so
Wait, Swain got the
Davis gets
ball.
getting chunked down. Oh my gosh! And the ulti comes out connecting onto Young here. Does get a lot of damage out, but Alpha's also out of position here. Does manage to get picked up by the Pantheon, and this is just disaster for the side of QC. Does manage to get picked up here. They trade back onto the Silas, but the Syndra is also here now, and this could be really, really bad. LSE Dreams does get comboed
Drakar's
onto
here.
by
Alpha's still
Drakkar,
alive.
but the Silas doesn't manage to pick him up, and the ulti comes out from the Syndra, does manage to pick him up. Drakkar
Oof.
whiffing the Shock Blast, and oh my gosh. The Silas, or the Pantheon ult does manage to come out, and does manage to pick up the Pantheon here? Or not the Pantheon, the Malphite. And it looks like this could be Mountain Soul, but Drakkar does still have vision on it. Oh my gosh, Fatel Hex
Oh,
flashing over, and this should just be another kill for the side of Project Tuesday, and it's going to be Soul taken by Project Tuesday.
yeah. I mean, a nice attempt by QC. I mean, I
Yeah,
think Dave really mispositioned there on the side without his ultimate. You did a nice job of getting that initial kill, but I mean, Spiral just beelined towards Ribbons in that fight. Just
yeah,
right clicked right at him, right at her, got the kill, and as soon as Jinx goes down, I mean, you're just not winning the team fight. Silas does not do enough damage. Jace was late because arriving like after the death, and yeah, you're just in a rough spot now. Mountain Soul down 6k gold. If you can't win that fight when you start off with a kill on Swain without ultimate, I'm having trouble envisioning a fight you can win
yeah.
as QC at this point.
Yeah, definitely going to be an uphill battle for the rest of this game for QC if they want to win. Baron is probably going to be the next objective as well, so we'll see where they go. I was doubting the Black Cleaver first item. I feel like Black Cleaver Pantheon seems decent. Gives you HP and haste. It's a hard
Yeah.
item to justify here, though. So I definitely am a bit more of a Sundered Sky enjoyer on Pantheon, but I feel like he's really been utilizing the power spike that he's
It
had
has
on
has
Pantheon.
has
So
both, you know. I mean, I
true.
do think there's some good amount of armor. I mean, Braum gets fairly tanky with armor. Malphite,
Yeah.
obviously, in the game. Um,
A Scatter comes
but I mean,
out from the
overall,
Syndra. Good combo coming out from Alec though in response, but I feel like the Syndra can play as aggressive as she wants, and this Silas just has no threat onto her at all. So looks like it is just going to be a Baron setup for the
Malphite
side
potentially
of
behind Syndra
PG.
here. We'll see if he stays. Looks for the play.
I mean, they're just gonna go for it here. Oh my gosh.
Has arm guard.
Doesn't manage to burn it. Hourglass coming out, and Product Tuesday is already starting the Baron, though. LSD Dreams does buy so much time
Ooh.
versus these two. Does get hit by the E2, though, and good pickup for the side of Silas, but they're already on the Baron, and Malphite has burned ultimate, but is still TPing for this play anyways. This could be really bad for the side of Project Tuesday. Does manage to get the W onto the Swain. The Jace, they do manage to pick up the Baron. The Swain is ulting in, but uh, getting kited by the Jinx pretty well, and this could be a really
Oh,
nice wipe
reset.
for the side of Project Tuesday, or QC does manage to get the first kill, getting the reset onto the Jinx, does manage to pick up the Nautilus as well. See if they can get any more. Shock Blast does come out, but looks like they're not able to get anything else, and Baron did go over to the side of Project Tuesday, but a nice 3 kills for
Yeah.
the side of QC. I think that's as good as you get for them.
Yeah. I mean, they get Baron, you get 3 kills when you're this far behind. I think you're going to be like, you take what you can get there. Did a nice job finding that pick onto LSD Dreams. And I mean, Dave is kind of squishy with this build. Like, I think he's
Yeah,
playing a little too aggressively right there. He's giving Jinx the resets in these fights. I mean, if the game
yeah,
was any closer, I think that could be just a losing mistake. But I mean, the team's gold lead is kind of allowing him to get away with it right now.
yeah, for sure.
We'll see if he goes for something like the Zanya's. If the Swain completes a Zanya's Hourglass, I think that could just make all the difference. You won't be able to find that initial reset.
Yeah,
Maybe
for
that's
sure.
just how you just close this out outright. You obviously didn't have Syndra there. I think Syndra's scatter the weak can really prevent Jinx from being able to advance forward in a team fight. But I mean, I don't know. QC's not going down without a fight, continuing to fight, continuing to try to find their angles, and you do have 4 items on Jinx now. So I mean, at a certain point, it's a strong Jinx, and a strong
Yeah,
Jinx can win a fight on their own.
yeah, definitely also has the Runeans as well. So I feel like if you're Jinx, if you can like get a lot of spread damage down and just look for these resets, you're in such a good position if you're QC. But it's going to be really hard, hard game from here. So gonna have to watch how they choose to do this Elder setup, as it is 2 minutes here. So you do have a little bit of time. You can use the Baron, try to push out your waves, and then look for the objective fight. So see where they choose to end up here.
I'm gonna be curious to see Smolder's like damage chart after this game. I'm just having trouble in real time tracking how much damage it feels like the Smolder's doing with this weird build.
Yeah, well, we can check afterwards, but I feel like he hasn't. It's also Smolder, like, you don't really do damage until,
You just
like, a certain
execute
point.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can obviously do a lot of damage if you hit all your spells, but most of the time you're just playing for execute timer.
Uh, so Elder coming up in a minute 30. We'll see if they're probably maybe able to pick up at least one turret here. Although spiral backing indicates they're not going to commit to trying to get the turret.
Yeah. Could also be a bait, just like recall, and then see if they overpush into your lane, and then Pantheon ult in. Like, I feel like that's a pretty reasonable play for the side Project Tuesday to go for, so. As we haven't really talked about items, but I feel like Mac is also like secretly strong here. Has a bunch of big lethality items. Has the Serylda's, has the opportunity, so is going to be pumping damage. Shakar is definitely not weak here. It's just
No,
can't.
yeah, certainly. It's hard for him to play out the team fights. I mean, there's
Yeah,
just so much crowd control he has to worry about avoiding. It's
yeah,
hard to advance forward without getting blown up.
yeah,
But I mean, you obviously I think you have to fight for the Elder. I don't think you can like choose to just give that away.
yeah,
So we'll see what they're able to do for it. Looks like they are going to kind of try to group up through bot lane. The QC members are, and we'll see if they can find something.
yeah. And Project Tuesday has also been utilizing their Baron advantage super well. It has so much vision planted down in the QC jungle, so able to
Yeah,
spot out any approach that they make. So.
yeah, and we'll see if Drakkar can land any meaningful poke before the fight actually breaks out. But it's just where Mountain Soul is so annoying if you are Qualmless chillers here.
Yeah,
Really kind of negates Drakkar's poke ability.
yeah, makes it hard for sure. Pantheon does have ulti here, so though I'm curious if he chooses to go
Oh,
for a
it
nice
does
little
land
ulti
a nice
angle.
chunk there onto the Smolder, though. I mean, you see one Q does about a fourth of Smolder's HP.
Yeah,
Mountain Shield does come back up. I'm curious to see which ultimate Alec goes for the steal here. If he looks for, just the
they
Nautilus
do
or the
get
Swain.
the Scuttle Crab. Does go for the Nautilus ulti, so choosing to go for the guaranteed lockdown, and they did manage to pick up the Scuttle Crab for the side of Project Tuesday, so it's gonna get
That's
themselves a nice little bit of
another that's
vision.
another really nice poke. Young is at half health at this point. Drakkar is landing the shock blasts.
Yeah, this is sort of the strength of the QC comp that we were talking about. If you are able to get Drakkar onto these, uh, or Drakkar to get set up on
Spiral
the vision.
bolting,
Spiral
spiral
ult.
bolting.
Looks like Dave is going in with the ultimate. Stun comes out onto the side of the backline. Elf does drop pretty low. QSS coming out does burn the flash. Oh my gosh, the flash ulti from LSD Dreams, and the Dave is still going on with the ultimate, and the Smolder is also untouched on the backline. Dave doing so good in these team fights, just making sure he can buy so much time for his backline. So
Yeah, there's nothing Ribbons can do. Like,
yeah.
Pantheon's flashing on you, Syndra's flashing on you, and if the Jinx goes down, there's just no winning the team fight.
Yeah, well played from the side of
Nice
Project
job just
Tuesday.
pulling the trigger.
Yeah, definitely a really rough spot. They managed to pick up the Elder, so I mean the game's not completely over yet. They still have to hit the Nexus, but we'll see if they can close out this game for the side of Project Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean QC is going to come up in time to have another fight, but
It's
it's going
just
to be a
so
tough
hard.
fight to win against the Elder buff.
Yeah, and a level 20 Swain, like that boy is so strong.
Pantheon with the Guardian Angel as well, so can really just continue to look
Yeah,
aggressively. They may take the Baron here first, and then they'll be pushing with Baron plus Elder for a little bit of time here.
yeah, definitely a very scary spot for QC. So I don't know. I feel like that fight was a demonstration of like the strengths that the QC comp in theory has. Like you saw if Drakkar was able to get onto the objectives first, like being able to poke people out with the shock blast was so much value, and you still see it here. Like he's doing so
Yeah.
much damage to these squishies. It's just they just have such a wallet diff, and they feel so disadvantaged in these fights just trying to play versus the Elder Dragon as well. And Dave being able to buy so much time for his backline by being such a nuisance. Hook coming out from Fatel does manage to pick up the Braum here, and it's going to be a rough position for the side of QC. Should be able to end the game from Project Tuesday if they play their cards right.
Yeah, just looking for the end here. Should probably be able to find it. I mean, QC is just going to have to go in at some point.
Yeah, Fatel looks for the hook, but doesn't manage to connect on anyone. They're just utilizing their triple cannon minions to siege down this tower, and should just be the end of the game here for the side of Project Tuesday. Malphite still has ult, so they might look for something, but LC Dream's taking a lot of damage here. Dave visiting the ultimate. Alec looking for the backline here, but Dave should
Spiral's
just
just
be able
hitting
to
the
live here.
Nexus.
Yeah.
He knows what to do. He's ready to end this game.
Yeah, they do manage to pick up on. Just hit the Nexus, not the Vlad or whatever. But well played from the side of Project Tuesday, and a very dominant game one. I think I know who my MVP is. I'll let you take a guess though.
I think it's Spiral without a doubt.
100%, 100%. Spiral
Yeah.
played that game out of his mind. We'll see what sides they choose opt for here, but
Yeah, I mean, I think Spiral played that game immaculately. I mean, up until like the final team fight or two, he had basically 18 out of 19 kill participation. I mean, the entire early game and mid game of that game played it really well, got his lanes ahead. And I mean, so it's worth mentioning. I mean, doing it against like who many people consider to be the best jungler in the server, or just the best player in the server outright. I mean, Jakar has been that good for 2 seasons now, and to see Spile
yeah,
really level it up this season and to kind of give that game one performance was really awesome to see.
yeah,
So we'll see, how can QC bounce back? I certainly don't think that game was like a complete stomp. Like
yeah,
it got rough for them, but like at 16 minutes, the game was very close. Like they
yeah.
had their angles. I think they really just misplayed a few fights. Jinx started getting caught out a little bit.
It's
And
just
yeah,
such a
but
hard game for Jinx to play, right? Like Nautilus has so much agency. Like you have the Pantheon, they're able to pile so much CC onto the Jinx, and it's just so hard for them to play the game from that spot. So
yeah, and I mean, in hindsight, I think you should have looked for a little bit more of an aggressive counter into the Syndra. I
yeah,
mean,
I
I don't
agree.
hate the stylus pick; it's comfort for Alec, but I think you just ended up in a position where LSD Dreams got to play his lane a little too easily,
Yeah,
and at the same time, Dave got the counter pick into top. So I
yeah,
think both solo lanes for PT were just way too comfortable in this game,
agreed.
and I don't think that's going to be a winning formula. You got to find an advantage in top or mid if you're QC here to really have a chance, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like I would have preferred having Drakkar on the Silas in this game. Like genuinely, he has so much agency on the map if it's a jungle Silas. Like you have so much power in every lane if you show up there level 6. Versus like keeping it chained up in the mid lane, I feel like is a little worse. Plus you can like still threaten like a mid lane counter pick because they picked the Jace on like 5, right? And like they already showed the Syndra. I feel like there's definitely a better counter pick than just sending the Silas into it and then getting Jace. I think the Jace was pretty good from the side of Drakkar, but definitely I think there's just a better line there. Like Silas is already so good into this comp. I think if you're a jungler, you want a champion with high agency in this game, and Silas is that character into this that particular comp. You have Swain ulti, you have Smolder ulti, you have Nautilus ulti. Like you're so strong if you're Silas. I feel like it should have just been the Silas jungle from them. So
Well, so QC, since they lost, they do get side select for game two. They are now opting for the red side themselves. We'll
yeah,
see if they're able to use that last pick, use that counter pick to find a really big advantage for maybe a player like Scott Pilgrims, or maybe you choose to try to give another good advantage to Alec.
yeah,
What we see, PT potentially look for on blue side here. Wouldn't be surprised if they don't just take a really early 80 carry. With Jinx gone, with Smolder gone, if you want that like really hard scaling, I think you could potentially go for something like Aphelios. I think both these players are very good Aphelios players. We could see something like Unara rise in a lot of priority at this point.
yep, for sure.
I do think Ari should be a really prized mid laner at this point. Silas is gone, Syndra's gone. You assume those bans are going to kind of stay the same, so Anivia probably won't be available for LSD Dreams. I would love to see them just slam the Ari that we've seen a lot of players pilot to really good success so far, especially when you are probably going to be blind picking.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Project Tuesday has used blind pick very well. I feel like on the side of QC though, I feel like you feel a little bit better because you can leave up a bunch of these high prio picks like the Nocturne and the Ari, or like what else have they banned? They could like try to ban more niche counter picks and then try to get like a really advantaged counter pick if you like leave up both um the Amumu and like uh the Nocturne and then try to like sorry dude, I'm losing my mind. Holy shit,
You're
my
good.
train of
No,
thought
you're
is
good.
gone. But
I think honestly, if I was QC, what I would love to see, you give the counter pick to Scott Pilgrims, you get him an advantageous lane, you yourself just slam something like Ari for Alec, potentially on like red 1 or 2, and just go for like an aggressive jungler then, and say we're gonna have an aggressive mid jungle
yeah,
with something like one of Jakar's comfort picks, with something like the Ari that is so strong and hard to counter right now. You give Scott Pilgrims the counter pick in top lane, and I think your top side at that point is just set. And then
yeah,
whatever Ribbons and Xavier want to play, you let them play. But to me, if QC is going to be successful, their top side of the map has to win. Like you
yeah,
have to win as the top side of the map. You cannot have Dave, Blind Spiral, and LSD Dreams all having a good early mid game, or you're just not going to beat this team.
yeah. It is fearless, so a couple of these champions are off the table for good. The Silas gone from QC is a little rough because now you have to you feel like you have to ban the Amumu every time, otherwise you give Spiral one of his big comfort characters in the Amumu. I feel like the
Yeah.
Nocturne is also a champion we should probably watch out for. Still, like that champion is still quite strong for them, so we'll see where they choose to end up here, as we should be getting into draft here momentarily.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's worth mentioning again. I mean, QC is kind of playing for their tournament lives at this point. If they want to have their destiny in their hands, they need to win these games. Down 0-1, got to find a way to get the reverse sweep here if you're QC.
Yeah, definitely really important to watch out for. Already being
And I mean,
down one game in this
yeah.
series is going to be really rough for them.
And if you're PT, and I just know the members of PT have felt kind of disrespected some this season. They felt like it took 3 or 4 weeks of winning to finally get the respect that they were wanting from some members in the community. You did take your first loss, but if you come back with just a dominant 2-0 against QC, I think you quell any potential doubters, and you're like, okay, PT's right back on track. So both teams really playing for a lot of momentum here if you
Yeah.
can pull this series out one way or the other.
It looks like it is going to be similar bans so far. The Zed is still being banned. The Anivia is still being banned. I imagine things will probably stay the same. You could go for a Gwen and a Kayn ban. So, see where they end up. I feel like all three of those characters have been not super great because Gwen got nerfed recently, right? In the jungle.
Yeah, I think Zed's been nerfed in jungle, Gwen's been nerfed in jungle, but they're just really putting respect on the champions that I think they feel like Drakkar can just truly 1v9 the game on.
Yeah, that's super fair. Nocturne is going
I'd
to be
be
banned
curious if
out,
we could see
so
something like Drakar's like Graves, like just something like really carry oriented,
yeah.
where he feels like he can just kind of power farm up on and be strong.
It
Yeah,
is going to
shout
be.
out in chat, maybe a potential B1 Mundo here for Blind Spiral has looked good on that champion as well. Wouldn't hate that if you didn't want to just go for something like an 80 carry in that first spot. But same bands, no real surprise there. I do think one thing with Fearless is it kind of keeps bans the same across all games, whereas
Yeah.
previously you might react and ban something that just gave you a lot of trouble in game one. In this Fearless meta, I feel like you see the same bans repeated throughout series a lot, and they are just going to take the Ari, which I love. LSG Dreams has been so good on that pick, and I think it
Yeah.
really hurts Alec because what does Alec like to play? Something like a Zir, which I do not think you'd want to pick at this point. Something like LeBlanc, you do not want to pick into Ari. We'll see what he chooses to go for.
Yeah, definitely a really nice blind pick as well. I feel like since you have eliminated the Silas from the pool, like you can really abuse being able to blind pick this character because I feel like Silas loves being into like a champion like the Art. It is going to be Alec Azir though. A lot of
Okay.
comfort coming out from him, so
I mean, just gonna take his comfort. And I don't hate that. I mean, I do think Ari is a champion that's gonna be pretty happy into Azir, but at the same time, your back's up against the wall. Pick your comfort champion if you're Alec. I like that if that's the way you want to go. He's
okay.
a really good Azir player, and they grab the Varus here potentially for ribbons.
Yeah, I do like Varus as well as a denial pick into Young, and I feel like it's probably a champion Ribbons can pilot pretty well. This character is still quite good, so
I mean, it is technically a flex pick too. I don't know if Scott Pilgrims would play something like the Varus, but it is, of course, a flex pick top lane that we've seen multiple people, even in the pro scene, bring out.
yeah, as it is going to be the Mundo picked up for the side of Project Tuesday. I will say,
Yes,
I think
sir.
this is a hard spot for Mundo to play into. Like, you already have two carries that love like having a meatball in front just to hit, and like that do well into like this mega tank. Like Varus loves playing into super tanky champions because of his W. So I feel like it's not the greatest Mundo angle, but pairing it with the Sivir always feels pretty decent. You can get
What
the
would you like to see
on
out
the
of
hunt.
Jakar here as kind of a Mundo answer? Because I think it's almost certain that Spiral is probably going to take the Mundo.
It's just going to be the Milio pick. I feel like
Oh.
that's fine for Saber. Champion's pretty easy. If we're talking junglers, um, God, I have no idea what I'd pick here into the Mundo, honestly. Normally I go like champions like the Red Cane. I really like into Mundo, but it's a little hard to play, and also it's banned. You could try to go for Graves, but I feel like he kind of struggles into a character like Mundo. We'll just have to
Yeah, I
see,
also think
really.
you have locked in Milio at this point, so you're not getting frontline out of support. Um, and if Scott Pilgrims is going to potentially look for a counter pick, that may not be a tanky character. And I don't think you don't really see Jakar play tanks, so
Yeah.
probably gonna need Scott to go for something like a tank here, and then maybe Jakar can then find the carry angle, but not a ton of frontline yet. Not really anyone that can tank a charm right now.
Yeah, as they are going to ban the Vayne from QC, which is really interesting. I think it has been one of Young's better characters. They have opted for another Fizz ban into Drakkar, so see what he chooses to go into here. I feel like a lot of his picks have been kind of pinched, so we'll see what champion he chooses to opt for here. Is this going to be
Whoa.
the Warwick? Okay, he's watched LPL recently. The Warwick did get picked in LPL recently, and it does seem pretty good into a champion like Mundo. You can kind of just sit there and hit him forever. So
Not a matchup I have seen played out. That's a really fun, exciting pick. You think there's any
yeah.
chance it goes top, or is that just going to be Jakar
Uh, it could
Warwick?
go top. It could go top. But I think it's a really hard game to play Warwick top into. Um, Also, like, to be fair, I don't know if I really love the Warwick into this draft in particular. Sivir has a really easy time spell shielding your ulti and your fear. Ari just dashes away, and then you're left with your. Uh,
Uh, you, we do have a Blitzcrank coming in though. That's really exciting, and it's a lot of pressure on Saber and Ribbons to position well now.
yeah, definitely really interesting. It's just going to be Dame GP,
Gangplank.
though. Okay. I don't think you want to play Warwick into GP, though. That sounds terrible.
No. Yeah, I kind of agree with Vetus and Chad. I'm not a huge fan of Warwick in team play. We'll see. It's going to be fun to watch though. But what's this last pick going to be? What's your big counter pick into something like the Gangplank?
Could be a Olaf here. I feel. Oh, Urgot. Okay. I like the Urgot here.
Okay, okay.
I think it does pretty good into the
Yeah,
GP, so.
this is just going to be a fun one. I don't really know what to expect. All eyes to me need to be on this Warwick champion.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
it's going to be a fun one.
That's crazy. Oh my lord. I feel like Warwick probably wants to go Bork or something this game into the champion like Mundo, so we'll see what his itemization turns out to be. I know in the LPL they did, I think they did Hexplate first item, which is super interesting, but we'll see how it goes here. Uh, God, that's hype. Okay, I'm sorry though, I prefer Product Tuesday's draft. Product Tuesday draft just looks better. IMO. I don't know about you, but
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I've seen LSD Dreams play Ari, and I think it's a great spot for Ari. I think Blind Spirals looked great on Mundo. I think the bottom lane for PT has played great all season, and frankly, I kind of expect Blitzcrank to work them. I kind of just think Blitzcrank is going to work the bottom lane of QC in the 2v2. I hope I get
yeah.
proved wrong so that we get to see like a close game where we can really see if the Warwick champion can shine. But yeah, I do think PT is kind of primed here with their draft to look for a 2-0 potentially. Because
Yeah.
I am afraid, if you are QC, if you fall behind, I think you're just done for in this game.
Yeah, as we're already loading into the game here, I want to look at some of the champion matchup stuff. I think this is Drakar's first time on the Warwick, so that's always going to be hype to watch. Spyro has looked really good on the window, as you said, 3-1 so far. So definitely a really strong player on this character. LSU Dreams 4-0 on the Ari as well. So, but yeah, Zaber first time on the Emilio. Ribbons has done pretty well historically on the Varus. Uh,
Yeah. And I do think one thing to point out actually, it's Jakar's going to kind of have trouble to get onto carries here because when you
yeah.
think about it, Ari can dodge you out with her own ultimate. Sivir has a spell shield. Gangplank, I believe, can just use his orange to get out of the Warwick suppression.
Yes, he
And if
can.
it does land on anyone in Blitzcrank's nearby, he can just hook to peel.
Yeah, this is gonna be a rough game for the Warwick. I am an old school Warwick fan. I love this character. It's just so hard to pick him in this spot in particular, especially into like an Arya first pick. I'm never asking for Warwick there. I'm sorry. It's just she just ults away, and then your champ's so worthless. So
You mentioned he must have been watching LPL. That makes me assume that what we saw Warwick in that league.
yeah,
I've
we
not
did.
seen that. Do you know like what kind of build should we expect out of the Warwick?
I think they went experimental hexplate for Saddam. I don't remember much else. I think I saw a screenshot of it in my team's group chat, but
Okay,
I think
cool,
they picked it into the Mundo as well, so it's supposed to be a Mundo counter pick with the lethal
interesting.
tempo. It does kind of make sense, right? Like, this is a character that loves just mauling on one character in particular, so we'll have to see how it plays out for Drakar here, but definitely, I mean, if anything else, having a champion like the Warwick with a champion like Milio definitely feels pretty good. Milio loves setting up these big bruisers, so uh,
Um,
and
there
it also
has
pairs
been a
pretty well with Ergot,
request.
so
I don't know if you're watching chat, but
I
I'll
am.
just let you know. Fishy has requested that if we do see a Warwick First Blood, that you give your best AWU.
Unfortunately, I'm too sick to do that. Like I'm barely keeping it together as is, so I'm gonna have to default to my other caster here to give us his best Awu. If Warwick manages to get first
If
blood, so
Warwick gets First Blood, I will do that.
okay, thank
So
you.
we'll see.
You want to make the sick person do the big Awu, right? Like, come on.
You'll have to do the baby I'm praying on you tonight,
Okay, I
Hart.
got you. I'll sing, bro. Don't worry.
And I will say, I'm curious to see what build Ribbons goes for. I think Varus is, has to have a lot of flex, ability. Obviously, can go
Yep.
AP, can go for the lethality poke. I haven't seen it as much lately, but in the past, Varus is obviously could go attack speed and just kind of get kind of bruisery items a lot. I
Yeah.
do think when you're playing with someone like Milio, it does kind of incentivize more of like a build that does want to like auto attack a bunch, get attack
Yeah.
speed,
For sure.
but at the same time, I think that could potentially be hard to play out because that requires the Varus to play at a much closer range into
Yeah.
champions like Sever, Ari, Gangplank. Whereas, if you're playing a really like poke oriented Varus and you're playing Azir's range really well, I think the Project Tuesdays lineup is actually kind of short range. Like if their
Yeah.
comp has a weakness, it's that they are short range into Azir and into Varus.
Yeah.
And if a Blitzcrank hook is missing, then at that point, I think you could struggle to find an advantageous fight. But at the same time, if a Blitzcrank hook hits, if Ari finds a charm, the low range kind of disappears and doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah. I will also say, both Urgot and Warwick love these low range comps. Like you just love fist fighting people all the time, and both of those characters love to do that. So really gonna be eyes on Scott, eyes on Drakkar, see how they play out these matchups as well. So
Yeah, we do have Blitzcrank with the spell book. That's fun. Has the ignite. Um, Ribbons did go for the lethal tempo instead of
so it
something
should be
like
the on
Arcane
hit.
Comet, so it does indicate they are going to go for that attack speed kind of build setup. Um, Azir with the lethal tempo as well. Curious, I don't know if we'll see too much, 1v1 in mid lane. Probably a lot of farming early, but I do think in bot lane here, if the Blitzcrank's able to find these hooks, it could get dangerous for QC early.
Yeah, definitely gonna be something to watch out for. As there was a pause, but we're already back into it. So yeah. Also, there's a lot of lethal tempos on the side of Project Tuesday. They're just looking to fight, fight, fight. Yeah, I'm very excited to see Alakazir though. I think his first game last season on the Azir, he had a really nice shuffle play that almost won his team the game. So I'm curious to see if they'll be able to replicate that kind of performance. Very excited to watch this overall. So
Yeah, I'm just excited to see Warwick, man. Like
yeah, that
I
is
feel
a
like
fun
I've played in
character.
this server for, 4 or 5 seasons at this point, and I don't really remember anyone playing Warwick jungle in team format. So I'm really excited to see how it goes.
I've been a Warwick
Oh,
fan for a while. So
hook at level 1 there though. You already see that first hook.
yeah, and Scott's
Dave
just
taking some
used
punishment though.
yeah Scott's utilizing this Urgot lane advantage super well. You have so much range over the Gangplank, and you feel so strong in the 1v1. So,
I will say though, I have personally played against Dave's Gangplank this season where my top laner solo killed him like 2 or 3 times. He gets enough farm to where it doesn't really matter. So
yeah,
it's hard to
definitely.
truly take a Gangplank out of the game. But Scott doing a really nice job of generating that advantage early.
Yeah, and I think Spiral's camp reset, so this is going to be a really rough spot for the Mundo. The biggest
Oh,
advantage Mundo has in this clear is, oh, hook coming out onto Ribbons does take a big beating, and oh my gosh, this could be first blood coming out for the side of QC. And it
oh,
does manage to come out for the side of Project Tuesday. Well played from Fadel, just flashing just out of range for the Bears to do anything and getting first blood for themselves. So
it's really big. Yeah, I guess you did point it out. Spiral's clear is very behind Jakar's now. I mean, Jakar's basically 2 camps up on the Mundo.
yeah, and like the
We'll
biggest
see if that
advantage,
ultimately matters, though.
yeah, the biggest advantage that Mundo has as a jungler is his clear speed. Like he does clear camps exceptionally well. So being this far behind is kind of unlucky, but we'll see if he's able to stabilize himself here. Really nice kill going over to the side of Project Tuesday, though. Sivir is a champion I feel like that doesn't really excel in lane, whereas Varus is a champion that loves early laning phase. So definitely rough for the side of QC to give away for his split bot lane.
Yeah, and I mean, Sivir just gets a coal on that first back and is just going to be farming up, scaling really effectively.
Yeah. Definitely a rough spot. We'll see if Intel can continue getting as much value out of this Blitzcrank as he has had currently. Has hit a bunch of hooks and really gotten himself a lot of lane pressure off of it. So
Well, I do like seeing a support player that's willing to like take something like Blitzcrank as a counter pick into a blind pick enchanter. You've
yeah,
seen Bean do that this season to some good success. But so many players are just going to handshake the enchanter matchup, and I love Wow, that hook's another good hook.
yeah, and we can see Fatel is so comfortable on this Blitzcrank. Critically, Millie has traded pretty well for herself here though in the bot lane, so
Yeah,
not the worst spot, but yeah, the
yeah. I
Mundo
mean,
clear is so slow.
yeah, Sivir it's not like you're playing with a Draven or something,
Yeah.
where it's like a hook is basically a guaranteed kill. Sivir is a scaling champion. Did go for something like the Cole, but overall you're pretty happy. I think if you're the bot lane so far,
Yeah.
and mid lane's just kind of farming.
Ooh, flash coming out from Dave here. Scott went for the flash stun. Doesn't manage to get it.
Does
But
Warwick have a potential kill here?
no.
No.
Does get kited out here, so
But I will say it's kind of the same thing we saw early game last game. Jakar goes top, they blow Dave's flash really early. We'll see
uh-huh.
if he's able to kind of wrap back around and get a kill like they were able to in game one.
Yeah. But no, it's gonna go for the invade, but none of the Warwick scams are up. So nothing really for him there, but see where both junglers choose to path, as he is just gonna go for Raptors here, so or is the Warwick is gonna go for Raptors here. Yeah.
Mid laners are level 6 now, but have not based yet.
And it looks like a really nice group around this dragon for the side of Project Tuesday, and QC is not gonna look to respond here, so should be first dragon going over to the side of Project Tuesday, and getting first dragon this early as a Mundo and a Sivir, I feel like you're in a really nice spot. Like these two
Definitely.
champions are so weak early game that being able to sneak out this dragon from the side of Project Tuesday is really good for them. So
Yeah, I mean, Ari hadn't even based yet. Gets to get a base off now and is very comfortable.
yep.
Should just be able to probably purchase Lost Chapter. Yep.
And I think Scott is just trying to freeze this wave on the gangplank, so we'll see how that
Yep.
pays off
Has
for him.
generated a decent CS lead so far, and does have Dave in a pretty rough spot here.
Yeah.
But they know Warwick's bot lane, so Dave is kind of allowed to play aggressively here to try to get the shove in.
Yeah. We'll see how it pays off, but
And when do you think Warwick's kind of at his strongest? Is it one item? Is it before that? Is it a couple items? Like when do you want to see the Warwick's power really get leveraged as this Mundo counter pick?
in my personal opinion, I feel like Warwick is strongest post level 6. Like, first gank off level 6, I think, is really where you want to see the Warwick value come up. Probably first item, and then after first item, I feel like it's really hard. Really good gank from the side of Project Tuesday, though. The Ari ulti coming out does manage to pick up Scott Pilgrims, and it's going to be a nice little pick for the side of Project Tuesday.
Yeah,
Good ulti from them.
great job by Dave baiting that in. Both top laners without flash, and LSD Dreams just pops ultimate in the river, gets there so quickly. Jakar looking for a potential trade kill though.
Does manage to get CC'd up, though, and
Yeah,
is
it
going to
does
pick
get
up
it.
one.
Okay.
Spiral is going to get his red buff, though, so I guess if you're the jungler, you're typing Worth in all chat. As
Oh, Rivets is fighting back
oh,
well
does
though.
manage to get one. looking for the trade back, getting the autos down.
Oh,
Does manage to
flash!
hit it.
Oh,
Does not manage to pick up Young as well, though. Really unfortunate for the side of QC. And Spiral also getting
yeah,
a bunch of
can
camps here,
Spiral be
though.
here though?
I think Spiral can. He does have the ulti. LSD Dreams is coming over here as well. Drakar is getting a lot of damage down. The charm coming out. Shuffle coming out from the Azir. Does manage to pick up one
Oh,
for Spiral, but should be one going over to the Scott Pilgrims. Dave is here as well. Is burning down Scott Pilgrims, and this could be disaster for the side of QC. The charm coming out from the Orient. Nice couple kills coming over to the side of Project Tuesday.
yeah. I mean, really nice just flash in on LSD Dreams there to
Yeah.
guarantee that your car went down. I think Alex just played it a little too slow. I think he
Yeah.
needed to go in a little bit sooner with the ultimate onto the Mundo to try to let Drakkar, get that first kill a little bit quicker. But I mean, Project Tuesdays is just always on the same page. It
Oh,
feels
wait.
like
Blitzcrank?
just playing it really well.
Oh, the hook doesn't manage to connect. Oh my gosh. And
Oh,
you see the proactivity coming out from Project Tuesday here.
yeah.
Like, they're playing this map so aggressively, and they just know what they want to do with their comp, so. Yeah, this is also like what I was talking about earlier with where I said, even though it's a really good counter pick into Mundo, it's like the Warwick in general is just so hard to pilot into this comp, right? Like it's so hard to stick on top of people if their name is Gangplank and Ari and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's definitely a Mundo counter pick. Like I see the angle there, but I just it's not good into a champion like Ari. I feel like that the charm is just so annoying for something like
yeah,
Warwick, as you saw in that fight.
definitely very rough. We'll see if he's able to bring it back though, as
Yeah, I
Project
mean
Tuesday.
potentially. Yeah, we'll see. I feel like we'll be able to give the Warwick like a true opinion on its strength once we see an item completed, how those
Yeah,
fights then look. But as of right now, it is like a 1.4K gold lead for Project
yeah,
Tuesdays. They do have that first dragon. Spiral is pathing up towards the Krugs. We'll see if maybe they look to go for that, or not the Krugs, excuse me, the Void
Grubs.
Grubs.
Yeah, definitely gonna be something to watch out for here.
Is instead
Riven's
just gonna base. Yeah.
Yeah. Riven's, to her credit, has been trying to trade back pretty aggressively. Did manage to pick up one in that bot lane play as well, but uh, Young just flashing to get out of range and then get the Q down was really good for them as well. So
Yeah, and it looks like Ribbon's going for a first item Gwinsu's, which is a little
yeah.
interesting. But yeah, I think Ribbon's playing it fairly well now. But I mean, just
Oh, hook!
both. Oh, good hook.
Hook from onto Zaber does burn the ignite, does get him to half HP, so utilizing a lot of pressure, or utilizing the Blitzcrank to generate a lot of pressure here. Well played for the side of Project Tuesday. As it is going to be the Hex Plate completed for the side of the Warwick, as they are going to trade Dragon for Grubs here. And if I'm Project Tuesday, I think I'm pretty okay with giving up these Grubs for the second
Yeah,
Dragon.
second drag. Yeah, we'll see what the soul is going to be. It's going to be a Cloud Soul.
Definitely.
Definitely a pretty good buff for champions like Dr. Mundo.
Yeah, even for champs like
Run
Ari,
at
right?
you. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the movement speed, already such a slippery champion. Yeah, it's really useful.
Yeah.
I mean, Sivir obviously getting a little bit faster. Blitzcrank
Ooh, could be
likes
another
that
hook.
movement speed.
Does wait out for the slide to come out first, but really good dodge from Alec. Does manage to dodge out of the Blitzcrank hook, so as Grubs is picked up for the side of QC. I do think this team comp can utilize Grubs a bit better than the last one. Champions like the Azir, champions like the Urgot can actually use the uh, Grubs power and siege down these towers a little bit better than the last comp that they had, which was more team fight oriented. Ulti forward to burn the charm, but doesn't manage to connect, and it's just going to be ult for nothing for the side of Product Tuesday.
Yeah.
Definitely very excited to see where this game plays out, though. Project Tuesday is holding on to their lead quite well. Does have like a almost 2K gold lead here. Fattel is looking pretty
Warwick
aggressive
potentially
here.
coming bot, but
Yeah,
they're just gonna walk out.
yeah, and you
Yeah,
see
they
the
spotted
power
him on
that
that vision.
having the scrubs have for the champion like the Urgot is going to get so much damage down onto the tower here. It does manage to pick himself an extra plate. So, definitely gonna see where the power from QC can come out from. Definitely not great to be down this much gold or on this comp, but does
And
manage to get
Spiral's
this.
just stealing Drakar's camps,
Yeah,
and it's not very often you see Drakar losing camps, losing farm in jungle.
yeah. I mean, that's just sort of the problem I have with this Warwick pick in general. Your clear is so much slower than the uh Mundo's, especially since you didn't go for an item like the Tiamat early. I understand the logic behind just going the Hexblade. You have your ulti up as much as possible because it's good. Flash ult, Flash
Oof.
Q comes out from the Blitzcrank, but doesn't really get anything. So I think that was Hex Flash.
Alec just not even phased there.
Yeah,
Does have Hex Flash on Blitz, but Alec just not even using his own flash. Very comfortable.
yeah,
They're really trying to force onto the Azir, and he's soaking a lot of pressure.
yeah. Scott looking for a pretty aggressive trade here though. Does manage to get a lot of damage down, and if all else fails, at least QC is doing very well topside for themselves. Does have a really nice winning matchup for him, so. Spiral is going to look for some aggressive vision here. Q comes out from the
Yeah.
Varus, does connect, getting some nice
Yeah,
damage
Warwick
down from
looking
it.
for a potential top invade or maybe looking for a dive, but they're gonna spot him out on
Yeah,
vision.
they're going to need this dive to go well, by the way. If you get this kill and you don't get anything,
Oh,
okay.
solo
They do
kill.
get the kill, but critically, Drakar does not get anything here, and Mundo is getting two of your camps, so definitely a rough spot. Hook comes out onto the Varus here, does manage to go. The exhaust comes down for the side of Product Tuesday, but they're under tower here, and really nice trade back from Ribbons here.
Yeah, critical error there. Fatel's been playing a really clean game, but does get caught under the turret, and I think that's going to dissuade any potential counter dive, even
Yeah,
with the Mundo being so strong. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe they look for the
yeah.
dive anyway.
Yeah. Oh wait, LSD Dreams is here as well. Could be a really nice play. Spiral doesn't manage to connect the Q, and Scott Pilgrim's TPing down just to really ensure that the
Does
play doesn't go
yeah.
poorly. So Warwick
Yeah,
is gonna get the Krug or the Grump and the blue buff for himself as well. So not the worst outcome for the side of QC. So yeah, good TP from Scott just to ensure that the play doesn't go south for themselves. Just really ensuring that the play goes pretty good for them. So.
yep. 5-5 in kills now. The dragon coming up in 30 seconds. I think if you're QC, you probably need to fight this one.
Yeah, for sure. Scott is staying in the area here too, so Spiral critically is not level 11 yet either, so doesn't have the rank 2 ultimate. Definitely going to be really important to watch out for. So
Yeah, let's see what value Warwick's able to get in this team fight with his ultimate. Can he
yeah,
find suppression onto a key target?
yeah, definitely going to be something to watch out for. So
If anyone gets hooked over the wall here, though, it would just be a disaster start to the fight.
yeah, it looks like they're just going to try to poke it out here. If it's ulti comes out onto the Blitzcrank, does get canceled up, and the ulti comes out from the Azir does manage to shuffle two in, and
Big
this is a
shuffle.
disastrous fight for the side of Project Tuesday. Well played to the side of QC so far. Young looking for the autos back, but Ribbons is gonna kite out here, and QC is definitely trying to go for the game 3 here.
Yeah, Drakar just chooses to start the fight by going on to Blitzcrank, and it set it up. I mean, he does go down, but sets up nicely for his team. Alec with a massive shuffle there, and it lets Scott and Ribbons just do so much damage.
Yeah, they do manage to get the dragon here, so definitely a really comfortable position for himself. As we saw, like from the beginning of that fight, the Warwick just has so many fucking the Warwick is just so hard to pilot in this comp because he got the ulti onto the Blitzcrank and got immediately canceled, but was able to buy so much time for his team to just get damage down on the Azir on the Bears. So
Yeah, and Dave was just really late to that fight.
yeah, that's
He wanted the top lane turret, got there super late, um, and yeah, I mean, just I didn't really see what happened to LSD Dreams in that fight. I assume they just got shuffled, and that
yeah.
kind of resulted in their death. But just a great fight by QC, and gold lead less than 1,000 now for PT. They've taken a kill lead. They get a dragon, continuing to fight really effectively. And Ari, interestingly enough, going for the
Oh, Hook comes out. Saber does take a lot of damage here, but the Sivir doesn't have enough damage to kill the Milio here. Flash coming out from the Sivir trying to dodge out the Warwick
Oh,
ulti, but
Ribbons is pumping.
yeah, Silas. Oh, does get
Wait,
picked
the
up here
bounce.
by the minions.
Is it the silver bounce or was it the minions? I didn't.
I think it was minions, but Drakkar is looking
No.
really hard for this fight. They're looking for a huge 5v5. The flash charm coming out from
Oh
LSU
my
Dreams does manage to pick up two
god.
here, and they're just overextending way too hard for the side of QC here. Good punish from Project Tuesday here.
The flash ult by Drakkar not connecting just resulted in them chasing just way too far, and it's a 3K gold lead now.
Scott does manage to pick one up here, though.
No, that's huge.
Spiral is in the middle of
What is
the...
this?
Yeah, unfortunately the Urgot is a little too strong, and the Mundo does go down here. So.
Okay. It was complete disaster. Scott brings it back a little bit, and this Urgot is getting very, very strong. You needed that if you were QC. Kind of calm the nerves a little bit. Urgot is getting very strong. Keep finding good fights. Just kind of overchased it a little bit there.
Yeah, well played to the side of Scott. Does manage to salvage this play for his team a little bit. They overextend a little bit, and Project Tuesday does a really good job of forcing the play back onto them with the Ari charm, the Ari flash hold charm. Super well played for them, but Scott coming back in on the back end of that fight and finding a really good angle onto Spiral and Dave here. So definitely gonna be really hard to kite out the Urgot here. Like I was talking about earlier, the champion just loves being in the middle of 5 people, and if the Ari doesn't have ulti, it's so hard for her to play out these fights. So
Ari with the armor boots too is an interesting choice to me.
I feel like you want
Look,
Lucidity
there's so much
boots here,
magic.
no?
Yeah, there's so much magic damage. I would think you'd probably just want Sorks or Lucidity, probably.
I feel like Lucidity is so good. Like you hit a single ability and you go real fast. It's like kind of hard for the side of Project or QC to even touch you anyways. So Scott playing this 1v1 so aggressively just is so untouchable versus everyone on Project Tuesday. So
Yeah, and I assume Scott's getting pretty close to that second item, which should be a nice power spike too. Has like a 50 CS lead almost into his top lane counterpart.
yeah. I mean, I feel like CS leads are a little fake into GP because this champion just generates so much gold for free. Is up.
It's a 12K gold lead, or 13
Yeah.
almost 13 or 1300, excuse me.
Yeah,
12K.
1300 gold lead. So
And it does get the dead man, so he's gonna be moving fast.
yeah. We'll see how much they can get out of this.
Yeah. Dragon coming up in a minute. Ribbons did critically complete her second item as well, so has the Blade of the Ruin King now. Pretty strong power spike. I feel like...
Ooh, good combo onto the side of Dave. A lot of damage coming out for the Urgot, and he's put so much damage onto the GP. The ulti connects.
Got him.
Nice, well played to Scott Pilgrim. Does manage to pick up a really nice solo kill here as Dragon is coming up soon.
And I mean, this is why you traded for Scott Pilgrims.
True.
And by traded, I mean like begged for a handout. All jokes. But at the same time, I mean, this guy's just showing up and performing extremely well here against Dave, who's been a really great player.
Oh, hook onto Drakkar.
Hook!
But this is not the target you really want to hook. The Warwick does love being in the middle of 5 people. Ulti comes out for the side of QC, and the Azir shuffling 4 people back in, and this is going to be a disaster for the side of Project Tuesday. LSU Dreams is dropping so low here. Does still have the last ulti charge. Does manage to pick up one here at least. Drakkar going down, and Spiral does manage to pick up a kill here, so... Nice, well played for the side of QC. Does manage to pick up 2 for 1 here though, so...
Spiral's here though, and there's no smite on the side of QC.
Yeah, definitely a really hard dragon to continue playing, and Alec is trying to go for this bot play instead, but... Looks like there might not be a dragon take for the side of QC, but the Azir is going to walk over here. Smite going out
Spiral
from B.
might be in trouble though.
Spiral might go down here though. The Bears does actually do damage to you, my brother in Christ. I don't know why we're walking up that far just to secure the crab, I guess, but
I think he thought they were gonna leave. Like they acted like they were leaving, but they just wrapped back around. And I mean QC's playing this game out really well now. I mean,
oh wait, the Blitzkrieg stole it.
What? What?
We didn't actually get to see that either, but really nice steal from Fattel. Does manage to put them on soul point, so.
Oh, he had Spellbook. He switched to Smite. He had
That's
Smite.
awesome. That's so awesome. Holy shit, cinema.
That's huge.
Yeah,
Oh my
honestly,
goodness.
yeah, you give it the gold is evened out really hard for the side of QC, but soul point does actually matter quite a bit for the both teams. So we'll have to see if QC is able to find those advantage fights that they really want on the next dragon fight. So
Was Warwick there? Did he
no,
outsmite him, or
Warwick
was
was
it
not
just
there. Warwick was not there.
Warwick was not there? So yeah, he just comes in with the spellbook smite. There's no one there with smite, and that's just a free steal.
Yeah, well played for the side of Project Tuesday. Does
Oh,
manage to get
watch
themselves
Warwick here
somewhere.
though. He's hiding in bot lane. They may be able to
Oh,
find LST
LSC
Dreams.
Dreams. Ulti comes out. Shuffle comes out though. Oh my gosh, they
Oh,
whiffed
some
both.
yeah,
That was
a
such
little
an
bit of
uncoordinated
poor
play there.
synergy there.
Yeah. The ulti comes out from the Warwick as the shuffle comes out and the ulti, so
Oh
really
my God,
unfortunate
LST
play.
Dreams!
Does manage to pick up one here. Oh my gosh, LSC Dreams really on top of his game here though.
That's just tragic if you're QC. That was
Yeah.
such a
Oh, hook
smart
onto
play by
Elf
Jacar.
here.
Oh
Really nice,
no.
well played. Does manage to get the cleanse coming out, and Project Tuesday just bringing it back. Spiral managed to pick up two here. Jakar is going to
Watch
go
your
in
car.
here for
Can he do
the
anything?
1v3, but Spiral's going to take the tower. Young is kiting it out as best he can. The hook coming out from the Blitzcrank, and oh my gosh, they're just going to try to fist fight him, and it should be Jakar going down here, and Spiral is on a killing spree. Disaster play for the side of QC.
Oh man.
Well played to Fatal, by the way. Is doing
Yeah,
an
the
insanely
hooks
good
have been
job
huge.
healing.
That's just so tragic, though. I love that play by Jakar to hide in that bush. LST Dreams did not see that coming, but they
Yeah.
don't land the Warwick ultimate, and then he just outplays them, gets the
Yeah.
kill even. Like,
Yeah, the ulti into the charm there did so much damage, and well played to him. So
yeah, and they've gotten it back to a 4K gold lead almost.
Yeah.
It looked like QC had completely brought the game back, but it's firmly back in PT's control now.
yeah, Project Tuesday also can threaten both objectives, like the Baron and the Soul Point. So could be a rough spot. Scott going for a really aggressive play here, but the double TP coming out. LC Dreams does still have two ulti charges. The Blitzcrank TP as well as the GP TP. The Redemption coming out here, looking for another play. Dave looking for the speed up here, but Alec is going to build the tower here. So
I don't know if Saber wants to be there. Yeah.
Saber does
Either
manage
way.
to kite it out here. So
Dragon coming up in 2 minutes, so there's no real objective to fight around here. But we have all 10 players around
ulti
this.
comes out. Hook come out onto the Warwick. Not the person you want to hit. Rippins is doing a good job kiting out, but Dave doing so much damage, staying free hitting on the backline. Alec looking for the shuffle here, but 2 kills going over to the side of Project Tuesday, and it's been a disaster scenario for the side of QC.
Yeah,
Ulti comes out from Spiral just to heal himself up, and
Yeah, that's just not your fight if you're QC. Like, Scott Pilgrim's is basing, and there's no objective. I don't know why we're sticking around there.
yeah, rough game for the side of the QC here. And we're kind of okay. I know the Warwick is a really good counter into the Mundo, and I think we've seen it in a couple spots. But the rest of the comp, it's just so hard for Drakkar to play out the game here as the Blitz or as the Warwick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The Warwick, it's fun, but so far I'm thinking there's probably better things you could have gotten. I mean,
Yeah.
the rest of the team's playing pretty well right now, but the
Scott looking
Warwick's
for a
just
really good play
not
here
enough.
though. Does hit the Q. Looking for
Already has ult here, should be able to just get out.
yeah. TP
If
coming
anything,
out
he's
from
kind of baiting.
TP coming out. Oh, does he? Oh my gosh,
You
the
know,
damage coming out from Scott. So
if we don't use the Ahri ult until after we've been flipped, I think we're just dead. Really greeting the ult there for no reason. Just give Scott a kill. Nice job by Scott.
yeah, it looks like they are gonna start the Baron here though. Looks like QC is just gonna give it and try to go for towers, which I think is pretty reasonable here. But yeah, they're gonna get 2 towers off this for the side of Project 2's or for QC, so I think you're okay with that overall, honestly. Yeah, they're gonna get another tower here, and that's so much gold onto the side of QC. So
Yeah. Critically though, Soul for Project Tuesdays is up in 20 seconds.
yeah, and they have the
Ahri
inside
is
track
dead,
onto
but
it.
does
So.
have teleport to join the fight. So
Yeah.
this can be a 5v5.
Yeah, but also they were the ones who got bases off, so they have spent their money off the Baron, so they feel really good about trying to take this 5v5. Oh, ulti coming out from Drakkar does manage to connect onto the Blitzcrank, Flash coming out from the Blitz as well, but doesn't manage to pick anything else up, and Blitzcrank is just gonna have to burn Flash.
Urgot ult missed there too, so they don't have that now.
Looks like they are gonna go for the fight. The Urgot is level 18, so going to be really important to watch how he plays the fight. Fatal walking up pretty far, does get hit by all the CC. The shuffle comes out onto the Sivir, but they're doing so much damage, and Project Tuesday is about to clean house on the side of this fight. And well played to LSG Dreams and Dave there, doing so much damage and able to get so much out of it. And looks like it's going to be a 2 for 5 ace for the side of Project Tuesday.
Yeah, it kind of feels like now that PT can all just kind of run in the middle, and there's just too much damage.
Yeah,
Like
it was a
I
nice
don't
attempt
know.
from Alec on the shuffle, but there's just not enough you can do there, and they just do so much damage. Like Yug went down pretty quick, but he was able to do so much damage onto this comp. So
Yeah, I feel like you're a tough spot if you're Alec. It's like you need to find a good shuffle to probably win a team fight, but at the same time, if he dives into shuffle, he's getting traded, and your
yeah,
team also kind of needs your DPS. So he's in a really difficult spot where he needs the DPS, but if he doesn't go for the shuffle, I don't know if you could win the fight either. So I don't know if maybe it looks different if Scott's ultimate is available there and they can get like a big fear, but I mean,
yeah,
at a certain point, you've got scaled Sivers, scaled Gangplank, and Ari also pumping damage. It's just really a hard spot for them at this point.
yeah. Definitely really rough for the side of QC though. Soul picked up for the side of Project Tuesday as well. Soul on a champion like Mundo, the Cloud Soul, is just so scary, and see if they're able to end the game out here.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you're QC, you can like stall out until Elder Drag comes up, look for like a flip at the Elder, and who knows what could happen then. Maybe you can try to look for some more picks. But I mean, you saw it in that fight. Like Jakar starts the fight off by trying to hook or trying to Warwick ult the Blitzcrank, and at the end of the day, like he has to because there's no one else to really go for. But
Yeah.
that's not going to win you a fight.
Yeah, definitely a little rough for the side of QC. Uh, it's just so hard to play Warwick in this game, man. I've said it like 1,000 times. I'll say it again. Playing it into the Ari, playing it into the GP, it's just playing it into the server as well. Just never feels super great. So as the Varus is gonna go for like a tankier setup, going QSS Bork or not QSS, Bork Rageblade Terminus into the Jock Show, just trying to be as tanky as possible versus this comp. So
And
we'll
they're
see.
just so fast with the Cloud Soul, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see where they can try to get the angle in for the side of QC. If there is an angle for them, I feel like it's
I
around
mean,
Scott Pilgrim's almost being like, oh my
look at the
gosh, the
damage. Damage
damage
just
from
did
the
almost.
yeah, the damage from the Simmer is going sicko mode right now.
Oh my god.
Dave
He's
with the ultimate as well, and just getting a really free pick. So
dunked on him. I mean, yeah, that's tough.
as Project Tuesday looking to just close out this game as cleanly as possible. So Ari's just dashing forward. Hourglass burned from his ears. So Burst emoting is crazy, by the way. As it looks like they are just gonna try to set up for the Elder here. Could also be a Baron angle as well. So see if Dave is able to get a really free tower take. Jakar and Scott are looking for him though, but is spotted out on the vision. Spiral is looking for the play. Also, Spiral is 4 levels up on this Warwick, by the way, or 3. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Looks like they are gonna try to set up for Baron here for the side of Project Tuesday. I feel like that's pretty smart. I don't really need to do a whole lot else. LC Dreams is gonna get hit by the ulti
The
here though.
charm.
The charm to
The
buffer it.
charm like canceled it.
Yeah, and again, that's just the problem with this Warwick character. Your ulti just doesn't do enough, and did burn the ulti out from LSD Dreams, so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This Warwick champ sucks. I'm not seeing anything that's really like giving me reason for why you picked it here. I don't see the value.
It's only good into the Mundo and the Blitzcrank, kind of. That's it.
I mean, maybe like you'll recall earlier in the game where they had that fight at the Raptors and Warwick
Yeah.
barely went down. Maybe if that goes in your favor, you can start to snowball. But it's just kind of been on the back foot this whole game. I mean, Spiral has 100 more farm than Jakar. When have
Yeah.
you ever seen Jakar get Flame Horizon? Ever?
Yeah, definitely a rough game from him. Spiral is also playing it pretty well, though. Looks like his Project Tuesday is going to try to set up the Baron here, so definitely looking for a potential hook from the Blitzcrank.
Maybe you can find a
Dave might be
pick
caught
here.
here. Does have to burn the flash. Tricard is going to go for the ulti, but gets oranged immediately, but the auto is coming out. Ulti coming out from the GP does manage to buy himself a lot of time. Is kiting out pretty well here. Does manage to get himself out.
Yeah.
And Yug is
And
here on the back line. Gonna have to watch, see how much damage he can do. And LSC Dreams is sort of just hitting the Nexus.
yeah, I mean that's back-to-back fights. You just see the solo laner's ability negating the Warwick ultimate. You know, they're going to try to go for Baron here. I don't hate the idea. You need it.
This
But
is a
the
bad. Oh
AoE
my
dude.
gosh, the Dave barrel does so much damage. Just looking for chunks repeatedly onto the enemy team. Spiral, it does have the ulti. The shuffle coming out from Zaber, but Dave is doing so much damage to the backline here. Young is going to go for the play, but oh my
Spiral's just
lord,
running at
Spiral's
him.
just running them
And
all
he
down.
does
And
not even hear, by the way.
oh, and they cancel the base as well, so
Oh,
looks
GG.
like Young is
GG.
looks like LSC Dreams is just going to end the game, and it's going to be GG's for the side of QC here. Project Tuesday picking up a swift 2-0 and looking so good while
Yeah.
doing it.
I mean, it's another game where like there are moments for both teams in the games, but overall a really nice 2-0 for Project Tuesdays. Great like statement bounce back after they took their first loss in their last match. Right back on track where they want to be if they consider themselves one of those true contenders to win the season, which I certainly think they are. And just continuing to play really well. This game, not as clear of an obvious MVP to me. I'd be curious who you're leaning towards. I kind of have maybe the Blitzcrank. I thought the hooks were pretty massive. But what are you
Um,
thinking?
I can see Blitzcrank. I feel like Yug also did a really good job on the Sivir,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I could see Yug too. I really think both the bot laners played super well. I'll let you decide.
uh,
Blitz did steal the dragon though at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah, we'll give it to Blitzcrank.
Blitz
It
did
was a
steal the
really funny play.
dragon. I don't know.
It was a really funny play. I feel like he had a lot of good hooks as well to really secure his team the game. So
Yeah, I mean Ari also LSD Dreams with another really nice Ari performance. You know, first picked the Ari in that draft and then played it really well. But I
yeah,
think we got throw the support players some love when they make those stylish plays. The hooks in the early game set up his AD carry to have a successful game, and then some of those hooks in the mid game steals the dragon. Just really good stuff out of Fattel.
yeah. I think I am gonna call it here. Sorry guys, I'm not feeling super great, so I'm just gonna call the stream here. Great series for Project Tuesday. Definitely played super well. Really excited to see where this team goes. But thanks y'all for tuning in.
Yeah,
I will catch y'all later. Bye.
peace.